Let's get this party started. What do you say? Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Where is Your Mind? Call in with KJ. I always love doing these. They're really always a blessing, man. It's like you guys are the show. You're the show. I love giving you the platform. I love meeting up with you like this, talking with you. It's always a pleasure. Even on that, man, I just got to say, I just went to the P.O. box a few days ago. Man, you guys are such a blessing. You have no idea. I wrote you all cards back, but just thank you so very much, man. You're so very kind, generous, and it's not always, sending support. Sometimes just saying hi, and it's cool to hear from you. Cool to get to know you. Some of you share some of your life. I don't want to say the name, but one of you is a really amazing artist and sent me like the coolest picture ever of Chubbs, even with one of his chew toys. Like, well done, my friend. I love it. I'll tell you this, that I don't spend a lot of money. I don't have tons of money to go spending, but I don't. But if I had a whole bunch of money, the one thing I would like to buy, and I have bought this throughout the years, is art. And no, I'm not like, a big art dealer, not like any of the, big famous paintings. I love art from you. I love art from the people. I had a friend, Pandora, many years ago draw a picture of me. It was really cool. Uh, I just loved it, man. It's not just because it's me, but I love seeing the Lord's gifts in people. People who have the ability to draw and paint and all that, man. I don't have that, but I really admire it. Again, these are gifts from the Lord, and I'm amazed by them, and I appreciate him. And He's given me my gifts, and I know what they are, and I love having fun with them and exploring them and using them. Um, but wow, yeah, the ability to draw, just like think of something in your mind and put it on paper. I just love it. It's such a cool gift. So anyway, thank you all so much for sending things to the P.O. box, man. It's always cool to hear from you. If you'd like to send anything to the P.O. box, there's always a link under my videos and shows. So please check it out. It'd be nice to hear from you. And I always make sure and write you back personally. And I hope you guys had a chance to see the newest video dropped about a week ago, and brand new video coming up this week, this next week. Another one where I'm finding these shows and movies, stuff I hadn't even heard of, and I'm like, whoa, like the messages they're putting in these things. So, but I feel like I kind of just get led to some of this stuff, and that's how it works. So I can't wait to get that video out to you guys and share it with you. And what else? Yeah, then we got KJ's What Happened tomorrow over on Rumble, 2 p.m. Central Standard. And of course, uncensored KJ's What Happened on Monday on Rumble, 2 p.m. Central Standard. So now that we got some of the basics out of the way, let's just talk to you guys for a second. Let me see how it's sounding over here. It's weird. It sounds a little, well, let me see. I have my audio super low. Sounds pretty good. Okay, I'm just checking out my sound here. You guys let me know how it is, but I hope everything's sounding good, clear enough for you, and all that. So I'm jumping over here to the chat. Tamara, always good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. The people love to have you here too, the whole fam. Yeah, when you're not here, people are always asking, "Where's Tamara?" And I remind them, the lady's got a life. And that's all right. But I appreciate you sharing all your time as you have for so many years over here on the show, helping me out, and just thank you. Borders Girl, good to see you. Joy Calhoun, Static Drivers in the house, Reigns of Healing, Daryl Calhoun, Michael A. Wilson. What a pleasure, man. What a team I've got here tonight. Ann Smith, Just Me, Heidi, Watchman, Swagger's here, WCMW. Good to see y'all, man. All right, so I'll go, and Jay Bundy too. Let me go ahead and explain a little bit about the show. I wanted to give it just a few minutes, let people kind of start coming in here a little bit, and then we'll get to that in a second. I'll give it a few more minutes. I want people to have a chance to come in. Then I'll kind of explain how we do this. It's not complicated at all. Good, guys. Thank you for letting me know. It sounds good. Awesome. Hey, how was your Christmas? I hope you guys had a good Christmas. Just a couple days ago. The cards I'm sending out to people are Happy Holidays cards. Not that I have anything against Christmas, but when I went to the store, that's all they had. They didn't have any Christmas. It was a drugstore over here, CVS. They didn't have Christmas cards. Maybe they sold out. They had Happy Holidays. So it's not because I'm being politically correct or anything like that. There's layers to Christmas, because on one hand, a lot of people attribute it to Christ, and around here we know that's not really his birthday. But still, if in your heart and mind you want to choose that as a time of the year to worship the Lord, then go for it, So I got that side. Then we got the other side, that the true roots of, no pun intended, but roots, Christmas tree, but the real roots of Christianity, or of Christmas, are in paganism. And I've shown you that through the years. Other people have shown you that. Even the Christmas tree is a part of that. It goes back to Samuz. So you got that side. Then you've got the liberal, loony liberal side of things, where those people don't want to call it Christmas because they don't want to offend people from other religions, right? Or most importantly, probably they don't want to give any kind of credit to Christ, because they're probably trapped in that mind where they think it really is Jesus's birthday. It's all about Jesus. So you see what I'm saying? There's like all these layers to it, but I just see it as like, I don't, put up decorations and stuff or anything, and I still participate. I went to the family Christmas stuff and all this, buying gifts, all that. But my heart's not in it. I know what it is. I get it. I know the history of it. But even with that being said, I choose to think about my Heavenly Father at this time. But I think about him every day. I'm talking to him every day. So it's just like, yeah. But just remembering him, his sacrifice, most importantly, shedding that precious blood for you and me. As he said on the cross, it is finished, because it is. He finished it all. There's nothing else you've got to do. You don't got to work your way into heaven. You just have to accept that free gift of salvation and believe. There's no working into heaven. A lot of people nowadays, I see it in comments. I don't know if they're convincing themselves or what, but they think they're going to go through the tribulation, or some people even seem to want to go through it. We're right there on the doorstep. I don't get into arguments and debates with these people, man. If they want to do it, they can do it. John Marandino, my goodness, sir. Thank you so very much. Been hanging out for 15 years, man. I really appreciate that. Hey, Robin McAdam, good to see you. Yes, Obama's war on Christmas. We always had the wars on Christmas for the last many years, except during Trump. During Trump, there was no big... Yeah, I know, Jay Bundy. It is a bunch of woke-ass cards there, unfortunately. But yeah, it is. I've seen some people question if maybe Jesus was conceived around this time of year. That's an interesting one. But the one that's most interesting to me, I've shown it to you guys before, is that the idea that Jesus' birthday was actually on 9/11, on September 11th. Then I've seen people say he's a March baby, and I've seen all kinds of things on that. It's interesting to look into. Just try not to get too caught up, Hi, Gina MH. Nice to see you. Good to see you, Jimmy Smith. How are you guys all doing, man? Joey Calhoun, Watchman. Great to see everybody, guys. T. Kerr, Reigns of Healing. Nice to see you, man. God, thanks. I appreciate that. Just Me Heidi says, do you think they'll fake a rapture? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so, man. I don't know how they could fake it, make all the people disappear. I don't think so. I bet they've talked about it and tried to figure out a way they could do it. No, I still believe that somehow it's going to be tied into the harpazo, to us leaving, to the great disappearance, the post-human existence. Somehow they'll tie it in there. It's my belief. Hey, Ampavu, good to see you, my friend. And Perry Chronicles, Holly Dolly. Okay, y'all. So, all right, we've given it a few minutes. Let me explain how we do this for new people. So, no, your phone's not involved. There's no actual calling or anything like that. Here in a moment, over here in live chat, I'll post a link to the, it'll when you click this link, it'll put you into a 10-person chat room. It's a private chat room. And then you're basically in a lineup. And then I just go right down the line and I click one person after another, man. And that's how we do it, So please jump in while you can. Some people show up a little later. That's okay. So throughout the show, I'll periodically be dropping the link back into chat for people. And if they don't know what it is, Tamara's there. She'll usually explain it to them and let them know, hey, this is the link to get in. Some people ask for it later. So yeah, it's just kind of a process I do throughout the show. I ask you just to please keep an eye on your volume in the background if you come once you come on, because sometimes it can cause a little, echo and kind of craziness. So we'll keep an eye on that. Don't worry about being on camera. I can see you on my side, but the people can't. So you won't be seen, by thousands of people. Don't worry about that. It's a big deal for people. Some people that freaks them out. I understand that. What else? That's it, man. So I put the link in, you come in, we chat. I try to give everybody at least 10 minutes, around 10 minutes. Sometimes it's less, sometimes a little more. It just kind of depends on where we're at. But that's how I try to keep it, so we can keep it flowing and let everybody get a chance to come in and hang out and chat. And what do you chat about? Man, whatever you want. Do you have an interesting supernatural experience? I love hearing those. Testimonies are always awesome. Any kind of information, observations, ideas you've got, anything you want to share, man, theories, perspectives, or just saying hi, so there's no pressure. I do this show, I don't have to do these shows. I do them because I want to, because I really like to talk to you. I like giving you guys a platform like this to jump on. And, that's what it's all about, is really connecting in different ways with y'all. Being such a private person as I am, y'all know I don't get on camera a lot. I did the thing over here on the YouTube channel. I put myself up there a while back. I was talking about doing other videos, maybe being on camera. See, I'm still processing all that. Like even now, I'm still thinking about it. It just gives you an idea of just kind of the person I really am. I have never been looking, to get myself out there much. It's my ideas and what I see that I want people to look at, But that being said, man, I'm glad I put my video out there. I mean, nothing but awesome from you guys. Amazing, beautiful messages. And thank you so much. And then I was like, dang, man, I probably should have done this sooner, just because it's good for y'all to, to have that connection too. It's another way we connect. However, I'd always said that I won't do it until, the Antichrist is here, which I know that's not going to happen because it happens after we leave. Or basically until it's the end. And I definitely felt that and meant it when I did it. So anyway, enough about me. Let me grab that link. Let's put it over here into the live chat and let's just get it started, man. Let's go. If you didn't know, I've got tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard over on Rumble. I'll be doing my KJ's What Happened. I never stopped doing it. Been doing it for years now. It's a pleasure. It's like I'm just blessed, man. I'm blessed by y'all. I'm blessed by the Lord that I get to do this job all these years. Just thank you, man. Thank you. All right. So here's the link. I'll put it in there real quick, and I'll give you all some time to start coming in. And I'll put it up there a few times here. But like I said, man, we'll talk about whatever you want. There's no pressure. I don't want you to freak out. Don't freak out. Just come on in. And let's hang out, man. It'd be nice to talk to you. It's always really nice to talk to you. Hi, Philosophy and Melissa. Good to see you. M. Doobie. What's up, man? Nice to see you. Yeah, so you guys still keeping track. And like I said, I'm going to give it a few minutes and let people are already coming in. So I'm going to leave the link up and give it like a few minutes and let people just kind of keep on coming in. You guys keeping up with the so-called drone situation? It's still happening. Tomorrow, I'll be showing you guys some more video people are capturing from this week, and they just keep getting crazier, man. Crazier and crazier. It's a mix of everything. It really is. It's a mix of the government, it's a mix of actual demonic entities, and then there's the possibility there's angelic entities mixed in there too. So there's a lot happening. This is the beginning of confusion. This is the beginning of a great delusion that is going to be coming upon the world. That's for sure. So I'm glad you guys are hip to it. I'm hip to it. These things are going to come down. They're going to be liars. They're going to lie that they created us. It's called panspermia. It's the idea. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to fall for it. I believe a lot of people in this world are going to fall for it. Okay, that being said, let me go ahead and get my volume up over here. There we go. That's better. I thought my volume was down. All right, then. And let's go and get started, man. I got a few people in the lineup right here. I'm going to go ahead and start off. Let me go ahead and get a different background here. From the first man, I got Birdman, Indiana, Bear, Pitch Lumen, Richard from Australia. Cool to see you, man. Aaron and Mitchell so far, man. That's my lineup. Great to see y'all. Thanks so much again for hanging out, being here. And as the show continues, we'll get some more people, like I said, will be coming in, maybe asking for the link as they do. We'll just kind of go with it as we go. And the show just turns into what it turns into, however long it is. All right. So let's go ahead and get a new background up for Birdman, Indiana. Here's a cool, mysterious one. What's that? Because Birdman, Indiana is mysterious. How are you?
Hey, good evening, KJ. How you doing, brother in Christ?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Thanks. How's everything in your world?
It's going quite well, man. Thank you for asking. Can you hear me okay? Am I good on my volume by chance?
Yeah, you sound great. Thanks. I hope I'm coming in okay.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine too. And thanks for changing the background, man. Mysterious, huh? That's what you think of me, KJ?
There you go. Mysterious Birdman from Indiana.
Yeah. Wrapped in
man.
mystery, right?
Wrapped in mystery. I'm a huge fan of mystery. That's for sure. That's probably why I do the way I do in this life, and I like just having my picture on the website like that, the shadow picture. But I've loved mystery my whole life, man. I saw something the other day. If I would have ever made it in Hollywood, I'd like to think I would have tried to bring this old TV show back. It's one of my favorite TV shows, and I was real little when I first found it, and even then I think it was kind of old. But it's called Kolchak the Night Stalker. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, yes indeed.
Wasn't that a classic?
Darren McGavin, right? Darren
Oh
McGavin.
yeah. He's also in A Christmas Story, the dad from A Christmas Story.
Yes, sir. I remember that. Absolutely.
Wasn't that fun? I loved that.
Oh yeah, Ralphie and Randy, I think, was his little brother.
Those.
Can't put my arms down. Right? Remember his mom wrapped him up in all those winter clothes. Got him all.
It really is amazing. That's one of those movies you can just watch over and over and over. And sometimes I'll have it on during the holidays in the background. I think AMC plays it 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's really not a lot of Christmas classics anymore. I mean, I guess the most modern might be Elf, I guess, with Will Ferrell. But see, even with that, it's like seeing pictures of Will Ferrell at these spirit cooking parties. It's like it just kills everything for you, which is a good thing. But the more you learn and really see what these people are about, is just you kill your heroes, man, nonstop. And
it shocks you into reality. That's for certain. I mean, goodness,
how can you? It does.
Yeah, how can you emerge from something like that the same person? I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like now there's movies I won't even watch at all anymore if certain actors are in them because they're just so annoying to me. Like Robert De Niro, of all people, because my issue with him is that he. Many years I think one of his children were vaccine injured. So many years ago, he got involved with some producers and they made a little documentary. I can't remember the name of it, but it was anti-vax, specifically childhood vaccines, I believe. And you can look back at old videos of this, and he was on fire about this. And I really loved that about him. You don't see a lot of celebs stepping out, but then they got to him, it's like something happened and that was shelved, never talks about it anymore. Then he got all anti-Trump where he looks like a maniac, it's like, what have they done to this dude? So yeah, they're all unfortunately tools like that. I guess that's why most of the movies I like the most nowadays, just for to enjoy a movie, are the independent ones with the young people just starting off, getting their cutting their teeth, starting off and they're raw and they've got a story to tell and it didn't cost a lot of money. They haven't signed a deal with the devil yet. It's like,
oh yeah,
that's where I find some of the best movies, man. There's one of my favorites of lately is a movie called Year 10. If anybody gets a chance, I'd recommend it. There's no dialogue in the whole movie. It's 10 years after the collapse of America. There's zero dialogue, but that movie will have you on the edge of your seat. I mean, I was incredible. It was incredible. Yeah.
Silent, huh? Goodness.
Yeah, I mean, there's noise. There's yelling and screaming and stuff, but there's no words. Absolutely, I don't think there was one word in the whole movie. Like, 20 minutes in, I was like, have they even said anything? And then it's like, oh, okay. No, they haven't. and then they never did. And then, but the whole movie like literally has you on the edge of your seat. It's a really good thriller. So anyway, other than all that though, that's me. How about you, man? You good? Everything cool?
Oh yeah, it's been a super busy week, man. I had work mixed in with traveling to go meet up with families. I had my wife's family gathering last Sunday, and mine was on Wednesday. Just oh man, it's been kind of crazy, but I got everything done. I think that I was needed to. I've been giving thanks to God and Jesus and my prayers this week for certain, and
Yeah.
I'm keeping that up because I know I never ever want to cut them out of the glory that I experience. I know it's definitely due to them for certain.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm glad you had that, and
Hmm.
just amazing that we're in Christmas now, man. You know, it's really crazy. We're what, about 10 days, we're less than 2 weeks away from the inauguration with Trump.
Hmm. Yep. And
That's a trip.
how do you feel about that, KJ?
You know, I mean, I still know that, you know, we're going home soon, but
Hmm.
aside from that, I'm actually grateful for it, man, because I think that look in the Bible, the Lord didn't always use the most, you know, the best people, let's say, you know, on the surface. But I
Hmm.
definitely believe the Lord's got a plan for Trump, you know, through the tribulation, and he'll probably be a helper, you know, for a lot of the people who are going through it and all that. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I don't know what's going to be left of America, how that's going to look, and what that's going to be. Because if Babylon's going to get hit, you know, it's on the money. I know it's coming. Um,
Hmm.
but, you know, are they trying to destroy the whole thing, or they want to keep infrastructure intact so they can take it over? Because the idea is they're coming on the ground, so they're probably going to want to take it over. So that's why I think they're just going to hit certain points, certain
Hmm.
areas, right? And
Oh yeah.
then we'll kind of see what happens after that. Like, what will America look like when? How does Obama come back in? Because I definitely believe he's coming back
Hmm.
in one way or another. And you know, but then I've thought maybe he'll be connected to the alien thing. You know, of course, because maybe he'll come out and you know, we were talking to him back in my administration, and you know, or whatever it could be. I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
telling you, you know, it could be anything, right? Or they could
Hmm.
say, you know, we choose this man as the man we want to talk, you know, whatever, right? So I mean, but these are my thoughts. I don't know for sure, as y'all know, but you know,
Hmm.
I wonder. So
Oh
anyway,
yeah.
we'll see.
Absolutely. And I asked, so yeah, absolutely. Please share your thoughts. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, man, yeah, for sure. No, it's yeah, that's that's my thinking, and just thinking a lot about our Father all the time. I'm always thinking about going home and just how ready I am to get out of here, and you know, just how ready I am for just to let's get it going, you know. But I mean, I know the Lord's he's perfect. He's got his perfect timing. So we don't get, you know, upset over this. We, you know, he's trying not to, right? Like get all bummed out. Or, I don't do any of that stuff. I live my life day by day and
Hmm.
doing what I'm supposed to with my eyes up, you know, waiting, you know, and just trying to keep working and hopefully waking up people still. You know, I always have to believe that there's new people showing up all the time, that you know, that we can still reach some of the people, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's still some old school people with you too. So yeah, I like to
So
count
many.
myself as that. So
Well,
yeah.
thanks, man. Yeah, I'm really blessed by y'all. Thank you, man. Like I said, I get messages, people, man, like, I mean, since the beginning. I mean, it's goodness gracious. But
Hmm.
yeah, I appreciate it. I'm glad to still be here. It has been, man, I could write a book about what it's like just to try to stay online all these years doing this. You know, it's been its own thing, but thank the Lord I've had the help from all of y'all, not just financially, but like sharing the information, telling people about it. You know, I'm still able to build on these new sites and stuff, you know. So, yeah, man. So,
Oh
thank
yeah.
you guys.
Oh, thank you, man. You're very welcome, KJ. I kept you in prayer this week, even last night, my friend.
Thanks, man. I always appreciate the prayers, always need them.
Oh yeah, we all do. So, but yeah, I appreciate your acknowledgement. No problem at all. And I was gonna say too, KJ, I wanted to send a shout out to your chat. It's a great, awesome group of people. You know, Tamara and Shawana and Kathleen H. You know, they all say "Love you, Birdman." You know, I appreciate that so much, and it's just very, very neat. You know, and I know Kathleen H. was asking last time if I had a bird myself. I haven't had one since I was growing up. We had a white. We had a white canary, but I haven't had one since I was very young. But yeah, just trying to
Man,
address that.
no, that's good. I'm really glad you got that experience here, man. We're super blessed by the family here, the community. It's been this way all these years, and it's not even that we have a bunch of rules, like it's because we only have a couple little rules here and there. And otherwise, it's like it's you guys. It's just been a real blessing. And y'all are all amazing. And I love that you all look out for each other and pray for each other too and become friends. So, yeah, man, shout out to the community for sure. And Tamara.
Absolutely, for sure. I pray for them all always too. Yeah, I link them in with prayers for you too. So yeah,
Thank you, man.
Oh, you're so welcome, KJ. And how long do you think you're going to be sticking with the PO box going forward?
Man, I think I'm gonna keep going. I mean, I was really surprised this past week. I just sent out 10 cards this morning. So
wow,
yeah,
man, you've been on it, huh?
oh yeah. I like sending. I like writing cards to people too. So it's nice, and it's just I wish I could do so much more for the people, for all of y'all. I wish I could show up and just give you a hug and say thank you. And, but yeah, so I like writing, even though my handwriting's pretty crazy. People who've received cards could probably tell you that, but I think they can decipher it.
Oh yeah, I've gotten one, and I can tell you it looks fine. I think it looks better even than my writing. So
shucks. Well, thanks, man.
No problem, bud. Anytime. Yeah. And did you get my Christmas card too, KJ?
I did. I believe that you're one of the ones I sent the card off to this morning.
Okay.
So, yeah, man.
Excellent.
But what name do you use, though? I don't think you use Birdman, Indiana on there, do you?
No, sir.
I didn't think so. You don't have to say the name either. But okay, good. Just in case. Then I got you, man. So
yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you, man. It's so cool to hear from y'all like that.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're going to be sticking with it too, KJ. And whenever I like to think back on whenever I was first asking you for an autograph and a signature, and I like to think I would play my part to help get it all started.
You did. Actually, now that you made me think of it, you did, man. You're the one that got me thinking about it again, because I hadn't had one for years. I put one out for the Patreon people a long time ago for something. Oh, I was sending them copies of the scariest movie ever made 2020 before I put it up online. So I had it made, and then I made a bunch of copies, and I just said, hey, I'll give you guys a free copy, whoever wants one, something like that. So yeah, but it's been years. So yeah, man. But thanks again for that.
Oh, you're very welcome, man. Thank you for all you did, man. You really kind of stepped up, and I really, really appreciate it, man. I know you're an old school. What's the word? You're an excellent source of truth.
Thanks, man.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, on YouTube, now on Rumble. I mean, just you're one of the they call them the OGs.
Yeah,
old school guys, man. And it's so great to talk with you, my friend. I'm so glad to know you, KJ, and I like to consider you a great friend of mine too.
Oh man, well you too, for real, man. And I'm glad you feel that way. And yeah, it's, I was thinking about that a while back. We've talked about it on some of the shows in the past, maybe not me and you, but others. But, those of y'all who've been around YouTube Truth since, say, 2015-ish or so, okay? Because that started really kicking in then in 2016. Actually, I'd say 2013 maybe up to like 2016, because when Trump came in is when all the censorship started. So it was around 2016 when they started censoring big time. But man, in those years, there were so many, truth channels and people coming up and Christian truthers and all types, and some really good ones, man. And then it's just look at it now, and yeah, man, there's hardly anybody left. I mean, there's really a handful of us that have been around for a long period of time, I'd say, at this point. I mean, a couple handfuls. But yeah, it's nice to see what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I just totally blanked. I was going to mention one of the truthers, but I forgot their name. But anyway, but there's a few of us left. But thank you again to the community for keeping us, those of us that are here, still here. So appreciate y'all.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, YouTube's kind of become a bit of a wasteland, hasn't it, KJ? And unfortunately,
it really has. Yeah, I mean, great cat videos, man, for real. Great cat videos, and I can even find some cool music, but that's about it. There's still some good. Well, Unplug them and like Days of Noah. There's still a few on there that are active. So yeah.
Sure. Compared to what it once was, though, it's not anything like that. I know
nothing.
That.
So many are gone. Yeah, so many are gone.
Yeah.
But hey, what did we expect? It's the end of the world.
Absolutely. We carry on, right, KJ? Occupy,
That's it.
Right, my friend.
Yeah. Keep fighting, man. Keep moving.
Never let them get you down. Absolutely.
Mm.
You got a big weekend coming up too, KJ?
Gosh, honestly, probably just working, and then if Sunday is supposed to be nice, so I may go out to the lake. There's a lake close to here, and I like to go just walk, the trails out there.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to music. That's where I'll find some of the music I put in my videos and stuff. Just listening to a bunch of stuff and just thinking, talking to the Lord, of course. But that's about it, man. I lead a very quiet life, man, and
Mm-hmm.
I like it this way. It wasn't always this way, but it's turned into this the last few years. And but I like it. It's good. I need it. I need to just conserve my energy and just focus on everything I do. But thanks for asking. How about you? You got a big one coming up this weekend?
Well, we just got with this past week. It's been kind of hard to look ahead, even this today. I know we're going to be going to church tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to relax on Sunday. I hope. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Well, there you go, man. Well, I hope y'all have a good one, and I hope you have a good weekend and a good time at church. And always a pleasure talking with you too, man. Is there anything else you wanted to share? We've gone about 10 minutes. I don't want to rush you off or anything, but
Oh no,
you know how we do.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, I feel like I'm becoming a bit of a regular here, but yeah,
That's a good thing.
yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and to deal with your great and cool crowd that you have in chat. Just you're a very, very special group of people, and I'm so glad to be in this community.
Oh, well, you're so welcome. I'm glad you're here too, my brother, and
Thank
and
you.
love you, man, and appreciate you. And you all have a good one, and I'll talk to you next time. Okay.
Thanks, KJ. I look forward to it. God bless you, my brother in
All right.
Christ.
Take care, man. I'll see you. Birdman, Indiana. Always a pleasure, my friend. All right, let's switch the background up. It's kind of weird. This probably isn't very pleasurable. How about that? No. All right, we'll try this. Crap, got a bunch of those. Let's do this one. Yeah, this is a cool one. For the next guest is Bear. I'm going to give you all the lineup real quick. Bear, Richard, Aaron, Mitchell, Pitch. Cool name. Pitch. I like that. Joy Calhoun, Living Upright, John 3:16. Coming up. All right. Bear, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. Good. Glad to talk to you. How's it going?
I'm hanging in there. Good to talk to you too.
Yeah. What's on your mind?
Well, I guess first off, I would just say, yeah, it's good to talk to you. I enjoy your content. I don't know, I follow you for at least a couple of years.
Thanks.
Yeah, enjoy your videos. Enjoy some of the music you put in your videos. I kind of look forward to them just to hear some different music. And yeah, just
Cool.
Good content. And it's just, I don't know, you're one of the creators that, you're just kind of down to earth and you just have quality content. So I just kind of stuck with you. So.
Man, thank you. And yeah, the music thing was all part of the plan because I've always liked all the independent type stuff, a lot of stuff people never heard of. And it's like I always it would bum me out. Like these bands need more recognition, but yeah, and it just turns out that it fits perfectly with kind of the end time scenario type videos I do, so
yeah,
I'm glad you like it. Thanks.
Yeah, some of the music definitely has kind of a, I don't know, sometimes a darker tone, like a futuristic darker tone.
Yeah, I love that too. I'm a John Carpenter kid, so I've got that in me.
It's interesting. I've been listening to this song recently, Tech Noir by Gunship, I think it is.
Okay.
But John Carpenter does like an intro to it, and it's kind of like about like nuclear war. It's
Oh,
just kind
wow.
of a cool song. Actually, it's a really good song. But
I'll look it up then. I didn't know he did that because I know he's composed some music lately too.
well, he does. Yeah, he just does like a voiceover intro, and then the song goes on. But it's a pretty good song, actually.
Nice. I'll check it out too. I'll check them both out. And yeah, I always liked him and David Lynch. I was a big fan of those guys. How about you, man? Do you have are you into the movies at all or any kind? I know it's hard to be knowing what we know, but I still look for a good story here and there, and they're out there.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't know, like I'm definitely a music guy. I've DJed for a lot of years, and
Cool.
I'm a 90s kid. Really, I was always big into like electronic and stuff like that.
Me too. Cool. So, what are some of the bands that from the 90s that kind of you cut your teeth on?
Ooh,
It's a tough one, huh? Like there's
like some things that stick out, I'd say like Crystal Method, Moby.
Oh yeah, man, Moby used to be just great. I've used some of his songs too.
Yeah, Massive Attack.
Oh, Massive Attack. They had a huge following, like kind of like the Grateful Dead or Fish, didn't they? Or do they?
Yeah,
They probably still do.
yeah, it was kind of like a trip hop scene, like kind of that like down tempo trip hop type stuff.
Cool, but I know a lot of people used to follow them. Then there's
Yeah.
Prodigy and stuff like that. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. Back when I remember when MTV used to have it was like Electronica at 11 or something. I don't know, but they used to show a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, and 120 minutes too. I loved that on MTV. That might be before your time a little. Matt Pinfield, they used to have a show on Sunday nights at midnight for 2 or 3 hours, and it was all indie underground music. So they mixed it up. They had some electronic, they had some post punk, all kinds of the good stuff I like at least. So yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but that was MTV's job, I guess. It is a Masonic organization, and getting us into the entertainment, getting us hooked on the music and whatever. But I was programmed like the rest of them, but I'll tell you, I still love the music, and of course I'm careful what I share with people, and you're not playing anything with, obviously blatant demonic stuff in it, but I'm not looking for that anyway. Like I said, and too, some of the best music is these young people, maybe in a garage, putting it out, their hearts out there. They're telling stories that are interesting, and they're giving us sounds that we haven't heard quite before. And that's what I love. I love discovering. I could even in another life, not that we have that, but I'd be a music producer. I just would love to try to give a platform to really cool, because like I said earlier about art, like I see the Lord in, I know that he gave music to the devil, and I've had people say you shouldn't be using, but no, man, everything comes from the Lord first. So I like when I see that creativity and that talent. That's I see it from the Lord. These are gifts these people have. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's go back to you.
No, you're cool, man. Like it's different now that I'm older, and you watch like movies and TV. It's just not the same as before you were kind of aware. Now it's just like
Ugh. Yeah,
you can get into certain shows and stuff, but sometimes you're just like, it's just more of this.
Yeah. There are still some things for sure that I think are good. There's a series out. I did a video on it because even the leader of the organization's a Freemason. He has a Mason ring, and they only show it in like 2 frames, but I caught it and I showed y'all. But the TV show is really awesome. It's called Severance.
I just watched that the other day, and that's a total trip. That's a total mind trip.
So you saw it too, right?
I like binge watched the whole thing in one night.
There you go. Now you know.
I was depressed.
Wasn't it good? Yeah, right. Well, it is. It's a mind trip, and the season 2's coming out like in I guess a month or something. So I'm kind of psyched. But in Lost, if you guys can always go back to the old TV series Lost, if you never watched that, I highly recommend it. There's not a bunch of Illuminati and Satan stuff in it. No, man, it's just really good writing, cool story.
Yeah. Well, what's weird about Severance is like I don't know if you noticed like it towards the end, like the last few episodes, it started to get really dark. Like it was like, where's this going? Like dark.
Seriously.
It was like, it's like, what is the motivation behind this? Like, why are they showing this? Like,
I know, man. And well, then, so when the girl, Helly, right, which is funny, you got Hell on the name there too, but Helly, when she meets her, I don't want to spoil things for people, but the older man near the last few episodes, that's the guy that's got the Mason ring on. And if you ever go back and look, I know you just watched it, but you'll see what I mean. There's only a few frames, but when you see it, it's there. So it's interesting how they hide that in. And the opening sequence of that show is all about the black goo that's in the squirt, the shots, if you will, taking over humanity. Remember that? I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Yeah, I did notice the black goo.
Yeah, man, coming out of a syringe, right? So, but yeah, we notice these things, we see them. But as I said, I still I went to college for film school, and I'm a writer. I mean, I got a screenwriting is my main, it's like my main thing. So I still can separate it and appreciate good writing and all that stuff, man. I can still, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some shows they just are just good. They just have good writing. They're just entertaining and they just make you think.
They're just good. Fallout was really good, I thought too, but it had all the symbols too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried getting into Silo, couldn't, and then Invasion. I did some videos I did it, my last video. I talked about those though. But yeah, that's about it. There was a good one called Teacup that was out this summer. Did you see that?
No, but I did watch Penguin, and I thought it was pretty
Oh,
interesting that you mentioned the sympathy for the devil thing. I thought that was kind of interesting.
man, that was an incredible show. We don't want to spoil stuff for people. You know what I'm talking about, of course. But I'm with you. Another one, just top tier acting and cinematography, and it is so good, man. And the story, yeah, total sympathy for the devil, total.
It's interesting because I remember watching. I went to go see the Batman movie in the theater, and I remember like there were certain things about the movie, especially the very end, where they're like, the water flooding thing happens, and he's like leading people with like a torch in the dark. And I just thought that was like really symbolic, like the light, the torch, like leading people, out of the catastrophe type thing.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like little things like that. You just see it in movies. You're like, okay, I kind of see where they're going with that. Like,
Always, it's almost always. Like I said, I still find some cool thrillers. Man, one of the coolest, and I love the thrillers. One of the coolest thrillers I've seen in a long time is it's several years old, maybe 2017, 18. It's called The Green Room. Did you ever see that?
it sounds familiar. I don't know I don't think I've watched it.
He's a writer director named Jeremy Saulnier, I think is how you say it. Young guy. See, again, since I went to college, I still follow. It's like some people follow sports. I follow who's writing and directing these things. But man, Green Room is about a punk rock band that takes a gig out in the woods at a neo-Nazi party, and it all turns bad. And it turns out you've got this punk band having to fight against the neo-Nazis, and it's so cool. I just love stuff like that.
That sounds kind of interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's right. I just saw in the chat, Mandroid, Jeremy Saulnier also did Blue Ruin, which is another awesome thriller. Didn't cost millions of dollars. Didn't see it coming when I watched it. Blew me away. But it's just like small town revenge stuff, And so yeah, if you guys want to see some cool movies, check out Green Room and Blue Ruin. But these are rated R. These aren't family type films,
Yeah, I have to check it out. Like, I'm pretty picky, so if I can't it's like a good book. I can't get in. If I don't get into it, I can't commit to it. Like.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, what else on your mind? Anything else? Anything else you got brewing?
Yeah, I thought I was trying to think of like what to talk about. Like I said, it's cool to talk to you. I've been through some crazy times the past few years. I guess what was kind of on my mind was like just kind of like my little mini journey in my faith. When I was young, went to church a lot. Kind of went through a difficult time that kind of brought me back to Christ. And since then, my life has just been like topsy-turvy, upside down, just, when you look back and you're like, if you would have told me I would have gone from point A to point B to point, you'd be like, no, that's not possible. None of that is going to happen. That's insane. I would never.
Yeah.
But that's how things have worked out, and sometimes I feel like, especially like lately, all of the like end times watching and stuff, like it feels like there's a lot of pressure. I mean, at least on myself, I'm sure a lot of people feel it. And I'm sure a lot of people are going through crazy times right now.
Where do you feel the pressure? Like in what area in your life?
Well, I mean, like one is to share the news,
Yeah.
Especially with family, people I care about. And I find myself like, I used to not really put myself out there. And it's not that I'm a very social person. I'm not afraid to talk to people. It's just I was always like afraid to share that specific thing.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of us have that in common. So keep going.
But and when things sticks out of my mind is like I always wonder, like, am I doing good? Am I doing anything to help anyone? And I always think like, maybe I'm dropping a mustard seed here and there, like hopefully, and I just hope that along this path, like I'm doing something,
I'm glad you're engaging in that self-reflection. That's really mature, for your walk with the Lord, I think. So I'm glad you're thinking like that. And then, I'm sure you've already prayed to him. And if you haven't, you can, and just, guide me, Lord, show me if there's a way, someone I can help or whatever, please let me know. And when it's the person, let me know, and, just guide me and stay open to it, and all that. It just, I feel what you're saying. Trust me. Even in my real life, not just online, I really try to be a blessing in this life. And when I'm out doing stuff, just being kind, courteous to people,
Yeah.
helping people out. I could go down a list of things I've done, but we're not supposed to do that. And I know all of y'all have your things, and we don't want to do that. But we want to be out there trying to have our works in this life, for the Lord, not because we're working to get into heaven. We can't do that, but because of the grace, because of just the beautiful sacrifice he gave. So let's be a blessing to people here and, help out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely. And, lately I feel like just my life is like total chaos. Like I feel like I'm being attacked at all times, even in my sleep.
Oh, you probably are. Do you have paralysis or sleep
I
paralysis?
just have like, I don't know, really vivid, wild, demonic encounters. Like,
Wow.
it's just, they're pretty wild. And, but yeah,
Well, then there's something they want from you, man. That means you must be a threat.
well,
I mean,
I believe that too. And I think that, I get like, I get really frustrated and I'll get like kind of angry, and I just kind of, in my alone time, I'll kind of like vent my frustration to the Lord. And I'll get like little tidbits here and there where it's like, it's just the thing you needed to hear at that moment,
yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay. And it's like, he's just kind of like keeping me around, like keeping me going, and it's just been a wild ride. But
Man, I love that you said that. Same thing. I've told y'all I see the numbers, and that keeps me going. He knows what he needs to do for his children, or what he wants to do for his children to keep us going. And we all have our own thing. But that's one thing for me has always been consistent all these years. Even when I get down or whatever, or sometimes you just want to quit, and go get a job, and all this stuff or whatever. I've had all that. But man, then it's like I'll get all the numbers, in a day, like 4 times, stuff like that. And it's like, okay, Lord, I remember. Thank you. I know what you mean. It's beautiful. He does that for us.
yeah, I mean, I've gotten by, and it's like he's always provided, even if it's just like a little bit here, a little bit there. And I guess the last thing I would say is, the scary thing is like you look around, and so many people just seem not interested or clueless, and it's scary, man. Like it's just wild,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the world calls them NPCs, but the world also calls the Illuminati the deep state. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what it is, man. A lot of perfectly programmed people, sadly, and it's just like the Bible says, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be. And here it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much wild stuff going on. You mentioned like Freemasons, and I've had some wild encounters with that, and I can tell you, like, if you really look into it, just about everything that's going on ties into that.
For sure.
Right.
What was your wildest experience with it?
Let's just say I knew someone who was, like top tier type guy, and like for people who don't think that they worship Lucifer, they absolutely do. And if you read like Morals and Dogma, like it's all all in there.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Well, they know the importance of they know the difference between the flesh and the spirit, and that's what this world is being the God man for those people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, a lot of the trans stuff is all in there too. It's all in there. Like, the androgyny, it's all in there. Like,
oh yeah.
So
I'll have to look that part up. It's been years since I looked into Morals and Dogma, but I still use a lot of the quotes from it. But that's recommended reading for people who really want to know the mindset of the leaders. A lot of the leaders in this world, that they even made a statue of him in DC, I believe, right?
Oh, maybe, probably, like.
Yeah, I think they did. It may have been one of the ones that got pulled down too. Y'all can look that up at Albert Pike statue, Washington D.C. But yeah, you keep going though.
Well, no, I might be wrong. I mean, it's been a while, but I think that it's in there. Like they talk about how like before Eve was taken from Adam, he was basically androgynous. And since he was a reflection of God, God was androgynous. So they believe that returning to androgyny is like returning to the art origin type thing.
Whoa, that's deep, man. That's good. I'm gonna need to go back and dig. I
might
will.
It's been a while, and I'm just throwing it out there, so don't quote me, But
that's okay. But it sounds like something I'd find in there, so that's interesting. Yeah, it's a deep book.
But yeah, I can talk about a million things, but I'll pass the that's my time. But yeah, it's good to talk to you. And I guess I would just say to everyone out there, just stay strong and hang in there. And none of you are alone. And Christ is King.
Bear, I love it. And in my spirit, I guess, if you will, I feel the need just to tell you, stay encouraged, man. You're doing great. Stay encouraged. The Lord's going to guide you, help you, with all your questions. And I know you're going to do just fine. And yeah, man, it's a real pleasure talking to you. We could definitely talk forever. I feel like that all the time with a lot of y'all, man. It's like we could just go on and on. But yeah, please call in the next time. We'll chat again. Okay. It's a real pleasure meeting you, man.
Okay, appreciate it. Look forward to the other callers, and good to know. I'll check out the video you just put out, and I look forward to the next one, man.
Thanks. Take care. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
All right, Bear. Good stuff. All right, y'all. Next. Thanks again, Bear. And whenever we close down, I don't want y'all to feel bad if I move you out of the studio. I'm just making room for the other people that want to come in. That's all it is. So no offense. But let me go and throw up a different background, because now we got our friend Richard from Australia is here. Always a pleasure to see Richard. Here's a new one I got. I just put this one up. It's pretty cool, huh?
That looks pretty cool.
What's up, Richard? Good to see you, man.
Yo, KJ, how are you?
I'm great. It's good talking to you. Do you guys, I guess you do Merry Christmas out there, do you, or do you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. How was yours?
Oh, we had a nice little family gathering and had a really nice lunch with my wife's kids. So that was really good.
Oh, nice. Good. I'm glad y'all had that. Everything's been going good since.
Dude, I am blessed. I'm like, seriously, like I got married this year. I know that you've chosen the path of celibacy basically.
Yeah.
But I'm on a different path. Like I always wanted to be with someone. So I was, living in a little unit on my own for a long, long time. And I just got to the point where I started praying, Lord, it says in your word that man should not be alone. Please send me a helper. Because I wanted to be with someone. So, and he did, and I got married this year.
Congratulations, man. Hey, Richard, I've said it before that if I had it all to do over again and knew what I knew now back when I was a teenager, I would have just been consistently praying, truthfully praying that the Lord just find me my wife and not have to go through all the other stuff. So yeah, good move, man. I'm glad you found her.
Oh, it's awesome. She's absolutely awesome. She's inside. You can see me, right?
Yeah.
I wanted
sharp
to show you around our garden.
Oh,
how's
great.
my beard? What do you reckon?
Man, you know what? I can't grow one, so
right.
I always have a little bit of beard jealousy when I see you guys. I got too much.
By the way, thanks for putting up that video.
Which one?
The one where you actually showed your face, because I haven't been onto Patreon or anything like that. So it's really good to put, to see you and actually know who you're talking to now. So it's good.
Good, man. You're welcome. And yeah, I'm glad I did it. And it felt like it was time. I knew I needed to do it at some point. But yeah, man. Thanks.
Are you wearing your hat right now?
Not right now, man. I'm actually in, basically it's a blanket you can walk around in. I know I'm totally kind of robing it out tonight.
Nice.
Snuggy
so
style.
hang on a sec. So yeah,
okay.
when I first moved in with my wife, this place was barren. Is there any way to turn the camera opposite on this app, on this StreamYard thing?
Not on my side. You have to do it on your side.
Hang on. Here she is. This is Josephine.
Oh, cool. Hi, Josephine. Oh,
it says
so
hi,
nice
Josephine.
To see you.
I'll turn it around.
Hey,
no, I don't
so
think
nice
so.
To
but
see you.
Said it's really nice to see you.
Thank you.
I'm just going to show you around what we've done here. And I know that's going to be a bit weird for everyone that's in the chat, but let me just turn this around. So this is sort of our veranda, or I don't know what you call it, patio.
That's nice.
And look up this way.
Oh man, that's so nice. I love it. I'm a huge plant fan, and I love that.
Yeah,
patio.
we've got heaps of succulents and plants and stuff around.
So
this
some
is
of
the front garden that we're working on. Yeah, some of it.
Oh, cool.
Hey, hopefully I won't cut out.
No, you're good so far. Yeah. Man, that's so
So
cool.
there's our little like veggie garden.
That's great.
And this is the gazebo. She's very articulate, Josephine, so she's done a lot of work.
That is so nice. Do you have any
And
critters that you have to look out for trying to get at all that? Any
Oh,
animals?
you mean our animals?
No, I mean other animals. They come around trying to get in there.
Yeah, no, plenty of birds though, so that's good.
Good. Good,
Yeah.
man. You got an awesome setup there. I'm loving it. You know, I love growing my own stuff so much, even though I haven't had a home. I always, rent places. But even when I was in Los Angeles, there was, maybe you've seen this, there are these things you can buy that you would hang. They hang down, and then you put soil inside of them, and they'll actually grow, like whatever you want. Strawberries is what I was using it for. Jalapenos, whatever, but you can hang them from anywhere, put soil inside of the bag. It just hangs there, water it, put the seeds in, and they grow. It's really cool.
Yeah, right. Sounds good.
Yeah. Anyway, just sharing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm truly blessed. I'm truly blessed. Like, thank the Lord for sending Josephine my way and being able to create all this.
Yeah. Do you have, what kind of animals do y'all have out there?
Well, there's SP.
Aw. Man, that's so cool. I guess you've got land around you too. I mean, I couldn't see the surrounding area, but what is that out there? It's like you out in the woods, kind of?
We're on a main street has been designated as, the smart city.
Oh, wow.
So there's lots of cameras and shit around, but
yeah, I was going to ask how the government's treating you out there. Go ahead.
It seems like they've backed off, but there's a lot of stuff coming in, like, just cameras and all that sort of bull. Here's the other.
Oh, that's great. Sorry y'all can't see it. But he's got quite the setup, man. And I'm loving all the plants. I'm loving the vegetables.
Oh.
And it's real pretty. She's done a great job. It looks pretty. Yeah, she's done a good job on it.
Did you get kicked? Did I get kicked out?
No, I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
I can now. I didn't hear you before. Did you see the other side where I took you down?
Yeah, that was so cool, man. Oh. She's done a great job. It looks really pretty and set up nice too. So that's good.
Oh, it's such a nice space to be in. We're trying to set up like a little plant nursery so she can make some extra money on the side.
Great idea, man. Great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you've got it all set up, man. Looks like you're getting blessed.
We really are. It's amazing.
Does she have children, like older adult children?
Yep, she's got 3. There's 2 in New Zealand, and there's one that's still here with us. 2 boys and a girl, and then there's 2 little grandies that come over every now and as well, which is they're 5 and 8, a girl and a boy.
Aww, that's great, man. Good. So you've got it all. And like,
yeah,
I've got basically got for it, man.
Yeah, every day, mate. I am too. It's just like it's like having my own little family, even though they're not my kids. But we all really get along, and it's like I say, it truly is a blessing. So thank you, Lord, for that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if all the kids got along, and it sounds like they do. And yeah, man, I mean, yeah, you got it good. I'll tell y'all. I'll just tell y'all a little bit of this. I don't want to go too deep into it, but the 2 days a year that I dread the most, if I'm being completely honest, are Christmas and Thanksgiving. Okay, because we have to go to like a family member's house, and it's not my mom and dad or anything at all. It's not me or anything. I don't want to say too much, but there's a family member that they're just one of the people that, man, it's like you've got to watch everything you say, be very careful. There's always hidden animosities, and you never know where it's coming from. And there's a few people around there that seem to have that. So like when we sit down to eat, it is completely silent, man. I mean, you could cut the tension with a knife, and usually it's always me or my mom, who's just a real sweet, talkative lady, loves Jesus, but she'll try to start a conversation, then I'll jump in and try. But most of the people there, like on a in that area, like, I don't want to say too much. They just don't want to like have any conversation with you. It's like there's no feeling of being welcome there. It's like, let's just get this over with. It's just a bad thing. And it's been that way for years, but my mom and dad are so sweet. Like, they don't really want to acknowledge it, even though I always will afterwards. And then they'll be like, well, at least we got another year. So, it's like once a year we got to go there to both these places. And I wish we didn't. Anyway, I'm talking too much about myself. I don't want to seem negative, but I bet some people can relate because, man, unfortunately, that's in this world. I would look forward to being with my heavenly family. Nothing against my mom and dad family here, or even the ones that can be difficult. But, like, I just want to be in a place where we can really enjoy our meals and laugh and talk and engage and, not have all this weird tension and microaggressions, as they're called. And anyway, man, so enough about, but even that being said, I'm not bitter and I'm not mad at the Lord or anything. It's like, it just draws me closer to my Heavenly Father. And just also I was adopted, so I've always felt like I don't really have roots on earth anyway, in a good way. I've always felt like I'm just passing through. Again, not a knock. I'm super blessed by my parents that adopted me, super blessed. So beyond blessed. All right. But still, I've always had a side of myself that just feels like I'm kind of doing it on my own with the Lord, and that's it. But anyway, go ahead. I'm rambling.
Yeah.
You're like, yes.
Yeah, I love it when you ramble.
Thanks, man. So what else you got for me? Anything else, Richard?
I don't know. I don't really want to go off on any tangents, but I just wanted to basically say that, my life's taken a really great turn, and I love what's going on here with Josephine and I, and we're really, which on, but I don't know.
Sorry, Richard, you're cutting out just a little bit. I may have lost you. It's probably just cut out a little bit. I mean, you're in Australia, so I always
I'm
keep
still
that in
here.
mind. There you go. Good.
Yeah, but
It's okay.
I was just saying, like, the family thing, like, I totally understand that, and my family's the same.
Good. Well, you get it. But hey, man, I'm sure we are all super happy and pleased to just see how blessed you are right now, and it's great to see, man. I'm happy for you.
Well, I just say, God bless the whole chat. Not that I've got that on at the moment, but God bless the chat, and thank you for letting me come on, KJ. Really looking forward to seeing what happens in January. I'm
2 weeks.
Not sure which way it's going to go, but yeah, it's a lot of interesting things happening at the moment. So God bless you all, and thank you, KJ, and hopefully I can come on again some other time.
Oh, I would love that, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm so happy to see everything's going good your way, and Lord bless you, man. Much love to you, and we'll talk to you next time, okay?
All right, KJ, take it easy, everyone. See ya.
Bye, Richard. Awesome. Good to talk to you, Richard. And over here in the chat, I'll put the link over there. I just put it up once. I'll do this so y'all know. And we still got coming up Aaron Mitchell, Pitch and Living Upright, and John 3:16. Good to talk to y'all. All right. So one more time, I'll put the link up here in the live chat. If you'd like to join, please do. And then I'm going to change the background up here. So we got some new coming in. I got a couple new ones. I'm going to try to collect some more. It's kind of okay, I guess. Nah, I don't like that one very much. There we go. That's pretty cool. All right, Aaron, welcome to the show.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm from Montana. I am the guy that sent you the poetry book in June or July, somewhere around.
Thank you. Did I give you a card?
Yes, you did.
Good.
Really made my day.
Really good. Well, hey, I appreciate that book too. I still have it out, so thank you.
Yes, I hope you. I have to apologize because watching you as long as I have, I know that you say you're a crier, so I'm sure there's some heavy stuff in there. So hopefully it didn't get you going too bad.
I'm good so far, but thanks, man. I love just the realness of it and sharing that. So thanks again.
Yeah, man. That's just not to trauma dump, but that's my catharsis. That's my way I get.
Totally. I got that.
It's like I went to therapy like for most of my youth for so long, and it didn't do anything. You know, it's like, how do you feel? It's like, well, I'm not struggling with how I'm feeling. I'm struggling with how to get over it, but they just get stuck on what do you feel? You know what I mean?
I know. I never went, when I was a teenager, I had to go see a lady when I was 13, because I was worried about it being the end of the world. I've told y'all about this before. I was having ulcer problems. I was worrying so much. I was on Tagament at 13. It was crazy. But so my point is, though, that was my only experience. I'd never had any others. That was actually a decent one. But I've known so many people in my life that have gone into therapy and come out worse. So I've seen that, So yeah, you got to be careful.
It is a real tragic thing, but then you always have those success stories where it's kind of like college, you know what I mean? Where people are like, try to force it on you because it worked for them, and it gets a little grating after a while.
Yeah. Well, you're doing good now, of course.
No, yeah. I mean, life's got its struggles, but I mean, since I've dealt with my issues and I've tried to get closer to God, and, I don't want to pretend like I'm the greatest Christian of all time. I got my issues and my addictions, but
sure,
I do my best. I try to, the thing I struggle with the most is just trying to figure out my place in the world, like we all do.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those, when I hear things like that and questions like that, my first thought is it's going to be a faith test. And what it is, and not in a bad way, but that's one of those things where I really believe that if you pray and you earnestly ask for something and then you wait on it, you wait on your miracle, that he'll give it to you. And that's what I would ask even there is just, and he knows your heart and you're telling us. So I know you're even getting deeper with him, and just say, Lord, you know my heart, you know my intention, I really want to have, what can I do? Is there something I can do in this world? And I don't feel complete, whatever it is, I feel like I need something, and I know that you know what it is. So I'm going to trust in you to show it to me. Just pray prayers like this, and then just say, I'll be waiting, Father, if it be in your will, let it be done, whatever, however you want to word it. But that's kind of how I direct things like that, is just with him. And I believe that you'll show me the answer to this. I'm going to wait on it, Father, but it's still in your will either way. So if you choose, I have my own kind of thing, but they're faith tests. It's like, I'm going to wait on my miracle. I'm going to believe, Father, and I'm going to wait on it.
No, that's what I try to do. I mean, before COVID hit, that's what I prayed. And then I started writing, and, I'm not famous by any means, but I send my stuff out to people like you or whatever, just trying to get my name out. And
good. Are you still writing?
Yeah, I'm having computer issues. So just because the economy's so bad, I had to turn off my Wi-Fi. So I use my mobile hotspot data off my phone, because I figured, if I'm going to pay for that, why pay for, Wi-Fi? But for some reason it won't connect to my laptop.
Oh, that's not good. Well, yeah, I've used the hotspot for sure too, man, especially when I was out in Central America and some of those places. So yeah, it can come in handy, but it's tricky. I don't know what to tell you about that. You'll have to maybe even turn the phone off and then turn it on again, reset, something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, man, you'll get it. But I'm glad that, well, when it's in you, it's in you. You're a writer, so you're going to write again, and it'll come around. And I'm glad you've got that, because that's the best therapist right there, I think, is when you're a creative and you're a deeper thinking person in a lot of ways. It's good to just be able to put your thoughts out on paper, man. It's good stuff. I like that.
Yeah, I that's one of the reasons I sent it to you. Is I'm not a big commenter, so I've been listening to you since 2012, but I'm never in the chats or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. But you always talk about art, and I was like, well, maybe KJ will like it. And he's given me so much of what I've enjoyed. You woke me up to a lot of things. When I first started listening to you, I wasn't sure what to think with a lot of the things.
Yeah.
No offense.
No,
I stuck with you.
I'm taken. I've seen all the comments. I know. Thanks. I'm glad you did. Yeah, man, trust me, I've seen it all, and just crazy stuff. I don't even like to get into some of the stuff, just off the internet, weird stuff too. But yeah, man, I've seen it, heard it. But it's because of people like you. You keep going. I know that people will get it. And not everybody will. And some people will call you names and do all that. And I got over that a long time ago. You had to, if you want to, that's why I think a lot of the truther type channels I followed years ago on YouTube, I think it's why a lot of them just left. They get tired of being trolled or got mad at the comments. There was a channel called Puritan Pictures that used to do really, really good videos exposing the devil in modern day and using a lot of scripture for it too. And they had a good following, probably over 100,000. I don't know, maybe more, but they had a big following, big channel, lots of videos. And just one day they just quit. And they left a community note saying that, they wanted to do something like, spend more time working on their relationship.
Yeah, a lot of, I've seen,
Go ahead.
Sorry, you cut out, so I thought you stopped.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's really hard because, I know what happened to your channel. There's so many people I've followed other than you that, they no longer exist. And, you inspired me a little bit. So I run kind of a show like yours, showing clips and things that I found, sermons on my Snapchat stories.
Oh, cool.
Trying to, and I never used to be that kind of guy that would, put his faith out there or whatever. But especially after COVID and just seeing not just what happened in America, but all over the world, it was a big slap in the face. And it still scares me that people didn't see how far some of these politicians went. Like,
I know, man, but I'm glad you said that, because it was 2020 is when it really kicked in for me again, just because I realized, wow, they just locked down the entire world under one narrative. So, okay, now we know they can do it. Like, this is how it's going to look. So yeah, it was a big wake up call, and I'm so glad it brought you closer to the Lord. And I'm glad you're with them. And like you said, man, I so many of us never feel worthy, ever, for any of the love from the Lord or his beautiful sacrifice for us and all of that. But, I don't ever feel alone in that. I struggle with that too. And I know so many brothers and sisters that'll struggle with that, not feeling worthy enough, or even for communication from him, or some of the just cool, weird, supernatural things that have happened. And I know that are from him. I've talked about them throughout the years. And I'm just like, but then what takes over with some of this stuff, and you have to let it finally, is just the excitement, the happiness, the thank you so much for showing me these things and for doing this and communicating. And even if he's not right now with somebody in their life, he does, and he'll communicate with you in a way you'll understand, but you just draw closer to him. The closer you draw to him, the closer he draws to you. And we're not perfect. We're just forgiven, past, present, and future, which is beautiful and wonderful. So we're on a walk with the Lord. Again, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. We fall into sins. But then one of the things that helps us get out of that eventually is that we're grieving the Holy Spirit. And, we don't like feeling that horrible, bad feeling. But just, we have our walk. So keep walking. You're doing great, man. I think you're doing great, Aaron.
I appreciate it, man. No, I do struggle with feeling unworthy, like, because, we're human. Like, all the dark parts of yourself. And, I guess self-awareness is greatly lacking in the society, but
yeah,
for people like me or you or this community, because I'll read the comments, you got a great community.
Thanks.
Like, it's just when you're aware of your darker side, it's just, you're like, oh my God, like, why would you even, have any mercy on me?
I know. And then you got to be careful, because then you'll get attacked with it, because the enemy knows all of our faults. And I always talk about how, demons, of course, are ancient and super intelligent, and they watch our lives and they take notes, and they know us better than we know ourselves, and they know how to attack us and get in our mind. And I've had things where, in an afternoon, for some reason, all these past sins you did that, are horrible from years ago, from you're even young, like a kid, like they just start popping in my head. It's like from out of nowhere. And I'm like, okay, no, so you got to just, you got to engage in the spiritual warfare and say, Lord, please protect me. Help me to stop these obtrusive thoughts, however you want to put it. And that's just me trying to always remember we are engaged in warfare. It is still happening. It is happening right now. People are being attacked. God's children are being attacked. I hear him say it all the time, and it's true. I get attacked. You guys get attacked. That's where that also wipes away that kind of fake modern Christianity idea where it's all going to be peaches and rainbows when you when you get on board with the Lord. Because when you really get on board with the Lord, then you've got a whole new set of enemies that you can't see, and then enemies even in this world. People turn against you when you really have the light of the Lord. You have the Holy Spirit in these days, so it's not all puppy dogs and ice cream. It's a battle. So it's important, I think, for us to remember that, so we do stay close to the Lord, stay in the Word if that helps you, pray all the time, whatever it takes, talk to Him. Anyway, that's my thought.
I always appreciate your thoughts. You always apologize for rambling, but I mean, that's what we're here for, bro. We're here to hear you talk and elaborate on your thoughts and feelings. Like, don't ever be ashamed of it, brother.
All right, I won't.
That didn't sound very convincing.
So what else you got?
Go ahead. I wanted to thank you for all you do. Like, you really did wake me up. Like, when I got into the conspiracy circle, it was more like creepy pastas for me at first, like they're wacky, cool ideas.
Oh, yeah. Well, so actually, let me ask you about one of those then, about the creepy pastas, because you know what the rake is, right?
Yeah, of course.
So have you seen all these videos with the white rake-looking creatures that people are filming the last several years?
Oh, yeah, man. I always watch your shows and you show them. I normally don't go out looking for those kind of videos because I think most of them are fake, but
I know what you mean, but my argument, if they're real, would be about the tulpa. Have you ever heard of the idea of the tulpa? The tulpa is the idea that if enough people concentrate on something, you can create.
It becomes real.
There you go, right? So that's like Slender Man. So many people thinking of Slender Man, talking of Slender Man. Then you got those girls that tried to kill their friend. You've got kids saying they have nightmares seeing the Slender Man in their home. So to me, it's a shell the demons can use. It's like the world created this character. Okay, well, demons are like, cool, I'll put on that skin. They shape.
And they take almost a thought form of it.
Right. Anyway, maybe, right? So, but go ahead. I didn't mean to stop you. So you started off in creepypasta.
Yeah, well, and to continue where you were at, like, and maybe that explains some ancient myths, like minotaurs. Maybe these things did take those kind of forms. Like, exactly. That's a whole other rabbit hole we could go down. But
I love it. That's a good one, though. I like that thought. Yeah.
Or dragons or whatever. Like, there's so many things. Like, I mean, humans love telling stories. We still tell comic book stories and movies and stuff. But it's just. It's always been weird to me when you look at through history that these people, like, they told their myths and their stories, but then they believed them, right? Like, I'm a big comic book guy, but it's not like I think Superman's real, for example, correct?
Well, what did you think about the new trailer?
I loved it. Like,
me too.
I'm a big DC guy, and it's been really hard to stay in the comic book reading community with how woke it's gotten, but like, you can still find some gems, but I love seeing Crypto the Super Dog. I love those obscure Silver Age goofy ideas coming back. It's just like wholesome, it's like what, my grandma grew up with Superman. She would have loved that kind of stuff.
And that's one of those things that goes back to, like, James Gunn. So James Gunn, though, he's so talented and he's so smart and he really is perfect for the job right now. But on the other hand, of course, I've picked
his weird tweets.
Yeah, the movies and the tweets, but I've shown the symbols in the movies and some he's done. And even in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they're fighting against God, who's flying around in an all-seeing eye spaceship.
Right.
So, but there's that. But again, as we were talking earlier, I'm able to separate it and just be like, okay, just for pure entertainment story, wow. Like, that trailer was cool, though. I did like it too. So he's good. He's talented.
Fingers crossed it'll be good, because I've always been more of a DC guy versus a Marvel guy myself. Like, there's no reason to read Marvel other than Spider-Man and the X-Men. But so yeah, I'm stoked for that, and I love geeking out. It's hard, it's being from Montana. There's not a lot of geeks out here,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Well, I've always been a geek to the point where even when I was in the Coast Guard for 4 years, I was playing Magic the Gathering, at comic shops and even going to tournaments after a while. So I hung out in the Magic the Gathering kind of subculture for, years.
Okay, Jay, I knew you were into films, but I didn't know you were such a Geekosaurus Rex, my guy.
Oh, I am. I really am. I am a total geek, and yeah, I loved Magic. I still have probably 7 decks, but I haven't followed it now, of course, for years. But even the decks I had were freaking monsters. I mean, like I said, I was going to tournaments. I would win a lot at the comic shops, but I'd go to big tournaments and get beat. But I loved it. I loved the subculture. I loved the weirdos you meet. I'm into these weird subcultures. I've done it my whole life, been into weird things. Like I did the bounty hunting stuff for a couple years, so I just always liked experiences, but nothing like hanging out in a comic shop with a bunch of geeks and just playing some Magic the Gathering, man. I used to love that. It's been years now. Of course, I look at it a little different now, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's nothing. I just love people that have passion for things, whether it's comics or, music or whatever. Like, I just see so many people in the world, they don't have a passion for anything, and not necessarily passion for, a career they want to do, but it's like, man, you live in this world. This world sucks a lot of the time. Like, you gotta have something that kind of takes your mind off of it,
Yeah, well, it's interesting you bring that up, because I've shown a couple examples on KJ's What Happened, but man, the last couple of weeks I'm seeing more and more of these videos of people, different ages, different sexes, different colors, and they're all having the same experience. And all of them are saying, are y'all noticing that people are just like seem zombied out there? And then there's also people coming out saying the same thing. Like, just, I feel like, I don't know, man, like, nothing matters and nothing's real, all this stuff. So there's a lot of, I think, that sentiment coming out. People are feeling it, because I mean, we're on the verge, I believe, of the greatest supernatural event that anybody has ever seen in this generation, or ever has been on Earth since the Great Flood. So there's a vibe, there's an energy. The animals are spinning in circles,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of strange things happening, but the energy's hot, man. It's crazy, and like I said, the spiritual warfare is serious. And stay prayed up, folks. Go ahead.
And I would encourage any of your listeners. I am 28, so I work at a restaurant with a bunch of teenagers, and man, nothing breaks my heart more than working with these kids, man. They have no hope. They're all mentally ill, whether it's depression or
really keep going.
Schizophrenia, or not all of them, but it's a vast majority, and they all know they're never going to own a house. They know, like, a lot of them don't have faith. Like, it's just really sad. Like, not, I'd say about 40% of them that I work with, and I work with about 15.
Wow. I'm glad you're telling me this. I like the perspective. You're getting to see a whole demographic here, so that's good.
Well, and it's sad, man, because I mean, like, you remember what it's like being a kid. Like, sure, you didn't know everything. You didn't know how to do your taxes, because it's not like school teaches you that. But these kids they know they don't have a future. They know they can't get a house. I mean, with the relations between men and women being so bad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, most of the teenage boys are either scared of women or just flat out hate them. Like Andrew Tate style hate women. It's like,
see, that's dangerous. So Andrew Tate's playing his role too. But yeah, man, I mean, well, when I was younger like that, I was excited for the future. I left my home at 18. I got an apartment for a few years, and then I went to the military. And especially when I got out of the military, I was still excited. I went to film school. I was going to go to LA and be a writer director. So but that's it's my generation. I'm probably a little older than you, but that's, a lot of the, like, Gen X, we got to experience that. We grew up with no rules as children, play outside all the time. And no phones. It was a different thing, but you're right. You're looking at, the way I see it, of course, the generation of the end. They've literally have gone through the whole alphabet. So we're at the generation at the end, and they sense it, whether they know the Lord or not. It's in their spirit, because they can sense that something's coming. Especially we got now the UFOs, right? So I mean, it's all being set up. The layers are here. So I get, and gosh, it's sad because they do need Jesus. And maybe that'll be something that, in a way, if you want to, just say, Lord, if it be in your will, guide me to help one of them, all of them, whoever, and just, I'm going to put it in your hands, Father, and it's going to have to be you, because I can't do it. Whatever you want to do, if you want to try that, I'm not telling you have to, but maybe that's something that gets on your heart, because it's, maybe you could help one of them or a bunch of them. I mean, gosh, who knows? But everybody needs Jesus and they don't know it. Go ahead.
I'm trying. Like, the kids at work, they're the ones that love my book. They all want it, and I give it to them. They read it, and I think I've touched a lot of them. So
Great.
I don't know if I've led them to the Lord, but I think they're wiggling their way to it, like a fish trying to swim upstream.
Good. Well, there you are. You just see you're already done it. Yeah, you're planting seeds. That's what you do, and you can be subtle. Wise as the serpent. That's the way I see it. That's why I like to use music and visuals and all this other stuff that may appeal to quote the world. You know what I'm saying? But then the message is not for the world at all. So yeah, it's good to be wise as the serpent, but not be a serpent, of course. But yeah, you're doing good, man. I love it. That's good, Aaron. What else you got for us? Anything else?
Well, we're getting towards the end. I feel like I overstayed my welcome, but this is probably the only time my hours got cut. So this is probably the only time I'll be able to call into you.
Oh,
yeah, I know. I was real nervous, but you make it real easy. So I appreciate your openness and your warmth.
Oh, you're so welcome, Aaron. And man, thanks. I'm sorry you got your hours cut, but the Lord will help you out. And just it's a great pleasure talking to another creative like you. And keep writing, man. And I appreciate your heart. I know I know you're going to help those kids. You already are. So thanks for that.
Yeah. And before I leave and say my goodbyes, I just want to say to everybody, if you're listening to this, if you're a fan of KJ, I think we're at a time now that the world needs light, and you can't be scared of what the world's going to say. Friends, family, I've been doing it in my own life, and it's hard. It's really hard. People snicker at you. They sneer, talk behind your back, they try to take you down, even though you're just trying to help. I ain't no saint. I got my flaws. But the world needs some light, man. You go preach to the homeless guy. Go preach to some kids. And don't be overbearing where you're trying to shove it down their throat, but just be a genuine human being that actually cares, because we see that this world doesn't care. Look at that lady that got burned on fire, alive. Crazy. And people just sat and filmed, man. Can you believe that?
It's sad. It's hard to believe, but I will say too, you're doing great. You're blessed. Every time somebody comes at you because of Jesus, anytime, man, it's a blessing, and we're walking his walk like that. So you're doing great, man. And yeah, the lady burning thing, I even needed to go back and look, because this is we're going a different avenue here, but she didn't move, man. She just stood there. The guy was over there fanning flames at her, crazy, and muttering something. And I wish I could have heard what he said. I think he's Guatemalan. But yeah, the whole thing was creepy and weird. And then I've got a story for tomorrow that somebody tried it on another young girl this week, another young lady.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. God.
Yeah, I'll show you all that tomorrow. But it's just yeah, man. People are creeping, and there's real warfare. So stay close to the Lord, y'all. You know that. Aaron, thanks again, man. What a pleasure. I appreciate talking to you.
Before I go, if any of your fans would like to go to Amazon and look up Ascension by Aaron Michael Drake and purchase a copy, I would greatly be appreciated.
Awesome. Yeah, please do plug. So Ascension by Aaron Michael Drake.
Right?
Drake. Sorry, Drake.
No, you're good.
Well, remember that if you like, and go check it out. All right, Aaron. Thanks again, man.
Thanks for having me, brother. Love you.
Hey, you're so welcome. Love you too, man. Take care. All right, y'all. Moving on. Next up, good to talk to you, Aaron. Got Mitchell, Pitch, John 3:16, Tyler, Matt, William, and Paul coming up. So let's switch the background up a little here. Let's keep it fresh, Sounds pretty cool. And we'll go with Mitchell. Hey, Mitchell.
Hello.
Hi, Mitchell.
How's it going, man?
Hey, good. How are you?
I am better than I deserve, bro.
That's good to hear. Always. It sounds like you play.
Dude, there's a echo in the background that's been going on. I don't know if it's on my end or if it's StreamYard or what the deal is.
Do you can you turn your volume down over there on your side? That'll stop it. And then you'll just hear me through the headphones. But if you turn the volume down, that'll do it. See what I mean? See, it's already better.
No, I haven't touched anything. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I was wrong. But yeah, I can hear myself talking a little. Oh, you got headphones on. Okay, so there's no volume,
Yeah.
exterior volume on or something? I'd turn that down if there is. Otherwise.
Well, if I turn.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Do I sound okay to you?
Yeah, no, it's still doing it.
So you have an echo on your side.
Yeah, it's like a 10-second delay.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Well, it happens. You know, we do these shows. Everyone has different setups, and so you know, inevitably, there's usually some kind of technical difficulty here and there. But we try to work around it. Try not to let us get held up. I can still hear you, and you can hear me. So go ahead, man. Welcome to the show. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you, man. I think I was on the last one that you did. I was the last caller.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But man, yeah, it's kind of hard to focus with this echo thing. Sorry.
No, you're cool. Do you want to try to unplug your headphones and plug them back in? Yeah, I'd try that.
Me.
Yeah, or maybe even if you look in the settings for your headphone, if you've got a noise cancellation and a background echo, you can click those if you have that. I've got it on mine. I didn't even start using them both until this show. That's why there's some of the old shows I always had the, you know. But we'll see if this works.
Deal with it, man.
Okay. Well, even like if you wanted, since the echo's on your side, you can always pull the headphones off and just talk into the microphone if you don't want to hear the echo, and say what you want to say, you know, and then you can put it back on after. I've had to do that before. If you like, but go ahead, man. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, I don't even know where to begin. I've just been pretty much in isolation. I've been working on a house, and the house, well, the job is taking a lot longer than I thought it would, and it's cool though. I get to stay in this, you know, nice house while I'm working on it because nobody's here.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I just don't do anything but work and listen to YouTube and play my guitar.
Well, there you go. That's a good life.
I mean, yeah, I kind of feel like I need to be doing something else. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but like someone was saying earlier, it's like, what am I really doing for the kingdom? Time's short, man.
Then, then like we were saying earlier, I'm sure you have. Keep praying about it, and then wait for the answer. It'll show up. Maybe you'll have a special job for you or something. You never know.
Yeah, I've always been pretty introverted, such as yourself.
Yeah.
But you've got a way. Of still, you know, making an impact with what you do.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It really is that weird. I mentioned it before, and I really think the Lord led me to it so I could have a better understanding of myself. But many years ago, a few years back, I even did a live show about the INFP and the personality test stuff. And it's not witchcraft and sorcery; it's just science stuff. But my whole life, I had taken it off and on throughout the years, and I was always an INFP. And then that really sunk in a few years back. It's like, that's why I do this. That's why, And it made a lot of sense. I mean, there's still all the Holy Spirit stuff, that's extra inside of us, but I'm saying this is just purely with the kind of, psychological scientific testing they did. It's crazy. So that's why I can be very outgoing to people. If I told someone I met out there, that I was a introvert, they wouldn't believe me, but I have that side, but then I definitely have the side where then I need to go recharge. And sometimes that recharge can turn into months. It's like I don't really have to go out and be doing stuff except for little exercise and grocery store and, see the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't have family either. I've got a son, but he's 18 and he's super antisocial, even worse than I am. And I think he's got like some sort of social anxiety disorder or something, or maybe it's a spiritual thing. I don't know. But I tried to go see him on Christmas, and he was alone in his room in the dark, which he does that a lot. Just sits in the dark, and that's not good.
No.
And tried to get him out to go do something, go play some basketball, or just go visit his mother's side of the family, which I'm not with his mother, but I've always stayed, good with her family, and they're like my family, and he didn't want to have anything to do with it, so that was sad.
How long has he been that way?
I was, it's funny you asked that. I was just thinking, I was just thinking about that just right after that, on Christmas, and it seems to be. I think I tracked it back to. It seems like when he was younger, we went to a Franklin Graham event with another friend of mine and my son, which is Billy Graham's son.
Yeah.
He came into town, and I was pretty early on in my I guess getting back on track with trying to follow Jesus. I had gone through all kinds of. I've always been seeking the truth, but I had finally come around to the point where I actually believed in the Bible again, and was convinced that Jesus was the Son of God and the essential things that we're supposed to have. But I was struggling a lot in my faith at the time, and anyway, we went to this event, and I was just kind of sitting there feeling out of place, and I wasn't really getting anything out of the preaching. It just seemed kind of typical, I guess. And I noticed that there was gold fringe on the flag, and I was I was just questioning the authenticity of Franklin Graham at the time. And my son looks up when he went to do the altar call thing. My son looks up at me and he's like, "Dad, aren't you going to go up here?" When he says if anybody would like to give their life to Jesus. And I said, "Man, I already gave my life to Jesus, but if you want to get on up there, And I wish I had gone up there with him just because, just to do it. But I was just in a funk for some reason, and I didn't want to go through the outward appearances or be fake about anything.
Hey, Mitchell, also, not to cut you off, but can you turn that thing down possibly in the background? There's some kind of TV or radio or something on. Some people are having trouble hearing you. Can you hear that?
That's weird. There's nothing else going. There's nothing playing.
Oh, well then just keep going, man. It's okay. Sometimes there's, some kind of tech issue here and there, but yeah, we got the best we can get, folks. Sorry, Mitchell. There's just a little background, but we're fine. I know you're getting it on your end too, so it's okay. It happens. Keep on going though. So you're talking about your son, and keep on going. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
So you were asking, when it started, and it seems like it started then. So anyway, he went up there and gave his life to Jesus, and that was, I've always been like, his mother and I had always agreed that we weren't going to force religion on him, and I wasn't, even though I was a believer, I wanted him to do that on his own, and he did. And it seems like, up to that point that he was always anxious to see me, and we were tight. We spent a lot of time together. And around the time that happened, and following, whenever I started going to a little tiny church, and I was trying to find my bearings with the whole Christian thing, it was all new to me. It seems I tried to take him to church not too long after that, and he just completely resisted. I mean, he was actually angry about it, and
well, I'll tell you this.
Turned out to be
oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, what? Please.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know that people are praying for your son now, and I'll be praying for him too. So keep going.
Well, I appreciate that very much. So yeah, I think that's the case, probably. And another reason I think that is because I was really young when someone led me to Christ. I got led to the sinner's prayer, and it was like an old babysitter of mine that I'd gone back to visit, and I think I was probably about the same age as he was. I was probably about 8 or 9, and I was genuine and everything, but when I went back home, I mean, there was no follow up. I remember going and telling my mom, "Hey, I'm saved, and I got saved by Jesus," and we had gone to like a New Year's Eve service, candlelight service, went to another small little church, and then it was just a visit, and I went back with this old babysitter of mine in Corpus Christi. It was a beautiful setting on the beach. Sun was setting when it all went down, and I remember thinking, I should feel something. I should feel something different. Like, is this it? And immediately after that, I got just waylaid with like these lustful thoughts and just all kinds of what I now know was a full-on demonic attack.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what was happening at the time. I didn't have anybody to tell me that's what was about to happen, or to be prepared for that. And I really think that we do that a lot in Christianity. I mean, I'm not a part of any four-walled church right now either. Like a lot of you guys are not. But one of the biggest mistakes I think that we make as believers is like doing the whole sinner's prayer thing and going through the motions, and then just leave people hanging, to figure it out on their own. And and you don't tell, and we don't tell them to count the cost,
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, he put you on a path, and you figured it out. As you've grown up, it's cool to see that. You've got it now. You understand. It's really just about your own walk with the Lord. Your son probably got turned off because that guy is a religious dude, and that can rub people wrong. And somebody mentioned in chat, I think Franklin pushed the squirt also. I'm not sure, but maybe. Either way, man, but that can turn off a young rebellious person too. But maybe we'll be praying for him. I'm going to pray for him. I know that people are praying for him that he finds Christ, but maybe even an approach just to say, hey, and let him know there's a difference between religiosity and having a walk with the Lord, and what he did for us, the Lord, how important it is, and how you can just have your own walk. You don't have to tell anybody. You can if you want. You don't have to go to church. You can if you want. Whatever it is, but just have your own walk. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah. I've kind of tried to talk to him about it in that way. He's just shut down from, especially from anything that's. I've tried talking to him about kind of what's going on in the world, especially around when the squirt stuff was happening.
Yeah.
Because I was really adamant. About trying to make sure that didn't happen to him. And I know how his mother is, and like she's the complete opposite. Total. Mainstream everything, liberal. And so I knew that they were going to try to push that on him, and I tried to, when I tried to inform them even before like it became a big deal, because I saw it all coming, and that was a big mistake, because she's going to do the exact opposite of what I try to tell her not to do.
Yeah, well, they are. That's a young. They're the most programmed generation in history. You're up against a bit, so Jesus will definitely have to be the man that comes in and helps. You already know that, so I'm glad you're talking to him. But yeah, it really is the most programmed generation in history. So, as another caller mentioned earlier, there's a lot of them have mental illness and weird anxieties and all this stuff, right? Go ahead. It's the food. It's all the food, of course, and the entertainment, and swipe left, swipe right. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's absolutely everything. It's I mean, this is the hardest generation to grow up in. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that that they've the most spoiled and so an entitled generation, but it's like, look what they've got to grow up with.
I know. They also don't see the future. So he really needs you, man. He really needs you, man. He needs love, and he needs guidance for sure. That's so for sure. Yeah, I'm glad you're there for him.
Yeah. Well, I pray about it all the time, man.
Good.
There's been a little bit of progress. He actually came to work with me a few days over here at the job, so that's progress.
That's good. I'm glad you're looking at it like that. That's good. And well, like I said, we'll be praying for him too, and for you. And you had anything else you want to share with us, Mitchell?
I didn't really have anything on my mind particularly. I just wanted to get on and chat with you, man. I'm sorry I did most of the talking, but
no, good. No, you're doing great.
I will say that it seems like we're in like this time that we're in right now. I think everybody can feel it, like can sense that it's like the calm before the storm.
It's time to go home.
Yeah. That's kind of one thing. If I still got a couple of minutes, I'd like to hear you. I wanted to ask you, what made you convinced? Because I know you're a believer in the rapture.
Yeah.
What convinced? What exactly made you become convinced? I mean, have you done like a lot of searching in the scripture? Have you listened to certain people that have convinced you? I mean,
And that.
Like what?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Like when was it that you became convinced?
it was probably like 2021, 2022-ish. Anyway, the rapture thing, the whole idea, and it's not that I didn't believe it before. I just didn't think we were there yet, but, to even start considering things. But then it was around 21, 22, it just started appearing in front of me more and more. It just started coming at me. And this is one of the ways the Lord, I feel, has always put me on a path for something. But I mean, like I'd get the 111s, I started getting rapture videos, rapture this, hearing somebody say something about it out in public, whatever it is, but it started showing up, So I was like, all right. So then I found the scriptures, which is most important. There was even a list I had somewhere. I'll have to post it again somewhere of like all the scriptures that talk about it. Then I just went down the whole rapture rabbit hole, went through the Darby stuff and, all the other everything that goes with it, man. And then the most important thing that changed me was reading my Bible more, honestly, because when I started understanding more and more the love and the character of our Father, that it just doesn't make any sense to me that, his wrath is what's coming. It's Jacob's trouble. It's going to be horrible. And it's mostly for the Jews and also for the unrepentant. So if that's the case, after reading the Bible, seeing everything I'd seen, seeing the scriptures, hearing people discuss it, I was like, there's no way a loving father like that is going to toss his bride, which is what we're considered, into the worst time in human history with the Jews who are unrepentant and the unrepentant in general, and rain down wrath on them, and rape, murder, brutality. It's not him doing all that, but this stuff's being unleashed. The Antichrist is taken over. So it was a combination of all of that, man, that got me there. So I stand strong on it still. I've had people even tell me they're not going to follow me anymore, or they're not going to support me or whatever because of it. But it's just whatever. It's I have to stand to the truth that I found through it and what I believe the Lord's shown me. And these are divisive times. I like to think we're brothers and sisters in Christ and can have different opinions, but not everybody feels that way. Anyway, there's the answer. I hope that helps.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of the position that, I haven't done a deep dive just in that specific direction.
Pray about it.
But I've heard so much.
Yeah, just say, Lord, if
well,
it's true.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of the position that to kind of hope for expect the worst and hope for the best kind of thing.
Okay.
I'll
pray on that too. It's called our blessed hope, but it's okay. I'm not going to bash you for it, man. You have your opinion on it. We're in different places, all of us, in our walks with the Lord and how we see things, and we can have differences of opinion. So, yeah, it's cool, man. Just trust in the Lord no matter what. Okay, you got it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I don't think we're going to get put through the wrath, and I'm not trying to have a whole debate with you or anything. I'm just afraid that it could possibly be a deception that could really destroy some people's faith. Like if we do have to go through, not necessarily the great tribulation, but all Christians throughout history have had to go through tribulation, persecution.
And they're going through it now, and so are we.
Yeah.
Hey, but yeah, man, I know what you're saying, Mitchell. But no worries, man. Just pray about it. Stay close to the Lord. You're good. I'm good. I say I'll see you in the clouds, but maybe we'll say I'll see you in heaven. Okay, however we get there. But it's been nice talking to you. Hang in there, and we're praying for your son too, okay?
I appreciate it, KJ. Keep it up, bro.
Take care, man. Have a good night, and thank you. All right, man. Thank you, Mitchell. I wasn't trying to rush you off, but I just want to keep us moving. Went over our time a bit there, which is okay, but try not to keep the people waiting too long. I'm going to put up a different background, though, for our next guest. Our next guest is Pitch Lumen. Pitch, are you there?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now I can. How you doing?
Awesome. Hey, man, I'm doing well. Thank you. How about yourself?
Great. Is that your real name?
No, my real name's Nathan. It's Pitch. So Pitch Lumen is like pitch is sound, and then lumen is like light. So it's like sonoluminescence, which is like star in a jar. So they can take sound and then put it through water, and it will like create an air bubble. It'll collapse and it'll create light, and it looks like a star. And it's also a little bit of a reference to in the beginning. But it's a Genesis reference as well, with God speaking, "Let there be light," as homage to the Creator.
I love the layers, man. I'm all about the layers. That's good stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, do you mind? Could I just, if it's okay with you, could I take like 15 seconds to just say a prayer?
Oh, of course. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. Our Father up in heaven, please, these men who have been on here, who some have been blessed, some are going through trials and tribulations, please give them the strength. They have the powerful armor that you've blessed them with through faith, and let their weaknesses that the enemy tries to use become strengths to use against the enemy. They are more mighty than what the enemy can do against them. In Jesus' mighty name, please allow them to be in peace and grace and mercy. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful. Thanks for the prayer for the guys too. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And KJ, you are an OG, man. It's really kind of fascinating to be talking with you, and it's really, really cool to hear you. And I'd actually like kind of a few things here. Let's see. So first off, you had mentioned MTG. This I kind of you'd mentioned MTG and everything, and I guess as far as like the world goes and everything. So I myself, I grew up kind of playing some Yu-Gi-Oh with a few buddies, which is like another card game. And
I know, yeah, there's always the Yu-Gi-Oh guy and the Pokemon players too.
Yep. And it's actually like that game. There's you could do a deep dive into Yu-Gi-Oh as far as like the story itself involves them going to Egypt and trying to awaken like the ancient Egyptian deities. There's actually in the show and the card game, there is like a unicursal Aleister Crowley type symbol. And then that mark actually gets put on the foreheads of people in the show. And there's a character in that arc called Aleister. And there's a card in Yu-Gi-Oh that came out a few years ago called like Aleister the Invoker. And he has a book that in the deck that goes like with there's a bunch of dark stuff and stuff in some of these games. And I noticed them and everything, playing it and everything. I was actually going to ask, this is, I'm working on kind of like a dodgeball game, but it's like a card game. It has like biblical references as far as like kinds of animals, words, and different meanings and everything. It also uses like some biology and chemistry. And I was kind of going to ask if you ever wanted to hear about the game or anything, or play test it even. I don't know. That'd be kind of like a insane. But those games are fun. There's strategy to them. But yeah, they just got to be in the right setting.
Well, you know, I don't know if you knew this. I have a PO box, man. So if you ever want to send something for me to try and whatever, that'd be cool, man. Let me know. I mean, just send it. Yeah,
for sure. Because that stuff is you know, I think there's a lot, and I know like going to the rapture and everything. Like I think, you know, if we're called to be here, or if we do get taken, you know, we got to be ready either way. And yeah, hope for the worst. Or hope for the best, be prepare for the worst is great, because it kind of can cover you either way, and whatever we got to do to get as many souls back to the Creator as possible, because we live in a world where it's very there's a lot, you know, kind of stacked against Christianity. I was just the other day I was watching the Call Me By Your Name Montero, the music video that was #1 on YouTube, on iTunes, streaming platforms and everything a few years back, with all the 6 bits in the shoe. And and that's I was kind of sitting there and I was thinking, because I've talked with some people that are like LGBT and everything. I actually had a conversation with Desmond Is Amazing, and that was it's on my I don't think I've done this before, and I don't really like to, but I have a channel, and there's like some stuff on there with Desmond. I have a thing about like Call of Duty, which is a video game. I go on there and I talk about like the military industrial complex and stuff, because they rotate lobbies, so you can talk to like 10 different people every 10 minutes or something like that every game.
Wow,
So but there's some stuff in that COD that shows like there are some like shop things, like you can buy different cosmetic weapon skins and everything like that, and they have like these very like unholy wrath title with like upside down cross imagery and a bunch of like it's very powerful. And that's that's like a big AAA game. When I was in high school and everything, it was a massive game. And so like it's kind of part of the times that we are in. And I like, we have that, you know, we are the ones who are on the winning side and who have the gospel, and that's what we need to be able to keep our head above the water and get others there as well. And I part of me kind of wanted to ask, because of, and you can please you can tell me if you would prefer me not to, and I will happily oblige. But I was going to ask, and I want to actually apologize first for people who have been very rude from this side of it. But I'm flat Earth, biblical Earth. There was recently like the 24-hour, the final experiment is what it's called. But
I showed it. I saw it.
Yep. And I was kind of wondering, like, do you mind if I just kind of give you something to not, I'm not to be combative, but just to put information out there, because I think the timing of it with like all these drones, Project Bluebeam, and trying to have aliens and everything, and with the Montero music video and everything, like where that all goes is I part of me was thinking like they're trying to fake how close they are to Babylon and trying to like accelerate certain things in certain ways. Because I've talked to people that are against a lot of this stuff, and I think like the Bible says in the days of Noah, people are going to be continually wicked. And so I wonder, are we 10 years away, 5, 15 or 20? It's I don't know. It's kind of some odd speculation, but I was just curious, like as far as like with the evolution and the Bible says that there will be science so-called in the world that will try to deceive man. And if we look at like the Big Bang and evolution, those two are, by academic scientists, they say how they're figured out. It's what we've learned empirically. It's what is the natural world. And those worldviews are exactly the opposite to what scripture says in terms of like the earth being before the sun.
More like 7,000 years or so, or 6. Go ahead.
Yep. And so those are all opposite, and there will be like this is absolutely, none of this is salvation. We are all brothers and sisters in Christ through faith in him, that he is the Messiah alone. That is what, unites us. So this is just kind of to have discussion and to hopefully sharpen faith. So there are Christians who believe in evolution, and there are Christians who believe in evolution in the globe, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. And I was just curious, like, have you ever heard about like how, according to what science has figured out, the globe Earth is tilted at 23.4 degrees, which is 66.6 degrees, and it orbits the sun at 66,600 miles an hour.
And I've seen that.
Okay, yeah. So there are things like that, and as far as like feeling close to heaven and everything, that I've heard a lot of people. There are two actually channels I was going to mention to you. One of them is a very good channel. He does way more than flat Earth content, but The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he does phenomenal work, so much about like AI and the state of the world and politics, and he does really good work. And so but I just wanted to kind of put that out there, as far as with these aliens and everything, like, please, like, and you're telling people and everything, but like, we don't have to be deceived or fooled by these beings, because we are the apex of this earth that we were given dominion over. And as long as we have Christ, we are the, we can't be stopped by the enemy. I know like there are, I've heard, I don't know, I guess I don't have to say that, but like there are some Christians who are very adamant against the flat earth. And I actually was talking, I got kind of insulted by the guy who did this final final experiment. He just, I went on
Antarctica, right? The one where he paid the guy to go. Is that the one you're
yes.
talking about?
Yeah. And someone actually, so in scripture, it talks about like the firmament being crystalline, being like molten glass and sapphire. And there's actually someone, Joe Hanvey, who he took like a biblical description. He took different materials, glass substances and everything. And he made a quote unquote biblical model, a flat earth model, and it showed the 24-hour sun. So the final experiment was said to be a bifurcating observation, like it was gonna be exclusive evidence one way or the other, because a flat earth model couldn't explain the 24-hour sun. But Joe did take biblical descriptions and he put together a model that shows that a flat earth can have a 24-hour sun. And so I like that's just anytime you make an observation in the natural world, there is your worldview has to accommodate that. And that's what the Bible, I believe, can explain everything scientifically, as far as society, morals and everything go, government, like it can cover all that. And if everyone lived to the Bible, we would have an amazing world, and be it'd be close to, like God said, like his creation when he made it was very good, and to us it was like paradise. There was no death, and we lived very long and everything was great, and we got to walk with our creator. And now through man's choice we've brought about this world. And one day Jesus will we'll get to be with everyone. And KJ, I think I'm sorry for kind of rambling, and I'll let you go and I'll be back.
No, you're cool. Actually, I did want to say something though, but about all that. But I just want to also just clarify for the people, because one of the rules of my chat shows is I don't like getting into flat earth stuff or the stuff about the JOOZ.
Yes.
But see, now the reason I got to just share with y'all, because I feel kind of bad, because I'm not trying to kick anybody out. I don't want to be mean about it. And I know it's really important. I had a friend I was talking to recently in real life that's into it also, so, and they claim that it helped them find, get closer to Jesus and all this or whatever. So that's why but the reason I'm like this, I have PTSD, because in 2015, when they introduced the idea, and I always mention this, and I showed y'all on Google Analytics, it was in October of 2015. But so the thing is that for a few years, at least, whether it's true or not, and I believe at this point, I have for a while, it's probably some kind of a spheroid or something closer to that. The firmaments in the Bible, and you've seen videos of things hitting the firmament. I don't know if you've seen those before, but you see the waves of the water. Yeah, right. So it's all real. Like that's all real too. But it's just what happened is I had to go through a couple of years of hardcore trolling from, I'm assuming, troll farms, because I could mention something about Flat Earth Negative, and within 30 minutes I've got 50 thumbs down. They would try to remove your videos. It was trolling. And Jeff C., Lord bless him and rest in peace. He and I would talk about this together all the time, because he was getting it too. So he and I came in early in the so-called truth movement with the flat earth, which started off, I believe, as a psyop. But now we're at a point where also the apocalypse, everything's being revealed. So I imagine if it's totally true, it's going to come out. And maybe that'll be one of the things the quote aliens reveal when they come to Earth. Oh, well, actually, Earth is flat, and we're the ones that created it.
Yeah. They're going to try to do something to deceive. And that's KJ. Really, I am a flat earther, and when the final experiment released their observation, I went back to the globe for a little bit before seeing Joe's model. But I really do apologize on behalf of flat earthers for that negativity that's uncalled for. We should never be bashing one another. Where you want to be polite and kind and respectful to others, no matter what their beliefs are, even if they have another belief system or something entirely. We have to be, we're here with each other in this reality. And how can you claim to love the creator who you can't see if you can't show love to your fellow man here on earth who you can see? So
great point.
it's how we treat each other, and look, like, even say there was something to the flat earth, and there's something out there that might be said to you that's intriguing, because of these people who were off-putting, that might go missed or something, and that can happen for anything. And that's why we should, like, those people who do that kind of thing set things back, and we're already going against a system that censors us and shadows us,
right,
and does all of this. We can't be going against each other. If the people united, we immediately could stop all the issues, like all the gun violence and everything. You just never.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
I gotta watch my word. If you don't pick,
No,
if everyone agreed to not pick one of those up, immediately it goes to zero, and the drops, and then it just tick tick tick. 1 second goes by where no one does it. And how great would it be if we could give our creator a day where no one died on this earth, even by accident?
Yeah.
Like, just as a here you go, Lord, thank you for this life. Like, we all made it through a day. I one day in heaven, or hopefully sooner, but I'm sure.
Well, hey man, here's another possible angle to it too, is that maybe the powers that be knew that people had started finding out the earth was flat, so they launched a psyop a few years before to make people like hate the idea. I'm just saying, I always consider the possibilities, but I consider the possibilities, but as I've also said to people, I've prayed about it through the years too, but I personally have never been led to go into it and deep dive it, and it was never a subject for me. I've got my stuff, so.
And that's completely fine. It is by no means salvation at all. It's just it's about faith in Jesus as the Christ, and really, being there for one another, and helping, being strong for each other, and making this world what we can for our creator to serve him and give glory to him. So
there you go, man. Great point, Pitch. And nice ramble. I love it, man. Great stuff, Pitch. A lot for us to think about, man. Thank you for sharing too.
Yeah, for sure. KJ, you're incredible, man. Really keep on keeping on, and may the Lord bless you and all those around you, man. We're a very powerful community, and we gotta, be in the love of the gospel. So
oh, thanks so much, Pitch. Lord bless you, man, and I love you, man. Take care.
Take care. I love you, brother.
All right, thanks. See ya. Great stuff. Yeah, see, that's the other thing, is that I really am very sensitive about people's feelings. I mean, it's always a thing with me, but it's like I never even throw caution to the wind. I try to be careful with, it's the way I treat people. And I know that that's been kind of uncool. There's some of y'all have really good hearts and believe in the flat earth and follow it. And you've seen and there's enough information, obviously, for us to know that NASA is full of crap, and to say it nicely, and totally satanic. A lot of it's BS, gaslighting stuff. So there's a lot to consider there. But either way, like I said, it's as brothers and sisters in Christ, we can have differences of opinions on things and not hate each other, not rip each other apart. And that was a great example of that. So thank you. Cool name too, even though it's not like a real name. If I ever had a child, Pitch Lumen Osborne, it's kind of cool. And now I want to welcome John 316 to the show. Oh, John, you have to mute or unmute on your side, John. There you are. Are you there? Can't hear you yet, so just double check. Double check the cables, the volume, whatever. But it's okay. It happens. I always say that. Technical difficulties. Some people don't do this very often. That's all right too. But John, I'm going to give you a few more moments, and then I'll put you on pause for a second, still keeping you in here, of course, and I'll jump to the next guest. Okay? So I'm probably going to do that. Here, let me jump over here and private chat and say hi. Good to see you guys. Hi all. John, oops, just writing real quick here. I'll let John know what's up. John, I will be right back. Can't hear. Cool. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to jump over here real quick Wait, let me try this again. John, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Okay, good. Yes, coming in nice and clear. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I don't know what that was, but I just couldn't get you, but it looks like we're good now. But hey, thank you for your patience. I'm glad you hung in there.
No
Uh,
problem, man.
how's
Patience is one of the fruits of the spirit.
Oh, right, exactly.
Yeah.
How's your few days after Christmas going?
Oh, it's been fine, man. It's man, I'm just dealing with the insanity of where this world is at right now, man. Things have most certainly been ramping up, man. We're literally living in like a science fiction movie right now with
Yeah.
the AI, the technology. I mean, it seems like all of the conspiracies seem to be coming true, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even some of the outlandish things that I kind of, I was like, huh, I don't know about that one. But oh, look, Project Bluebeam seems to be literally happening. Like,
It's really it's upon us. Like this is the
yeah,
beginning.
exactly. I mean, that was one that I was like, I don't know about that one. Oh, there you go. Government coming out talking about aliens.
There's that. And then many years ago, when I started off, people had a hard time believing in shapeshifters because, my issue is always against David Icke and people like that pushing that these are creatures from another galaxy and Draco, reptile, and all this. And that's, to me, that's the story the demons make up. They can shapeshift, be these different things. But no, it was like the demon seed amongst us. And now you've got the girl on the plane, that MFer isn't real. And, people are starting to see stuff. You get demon face syndrome. So everything's coming out. Everything's coming to the surface.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, if you look into it, we know there's certain bloodlines that control things, and these bloodlines literally view themselves as if they're gods. I've always thought maybe there's some truth in that they are descendants of the old gods, which did have seed of the serpent, and then that caused them to believe themselves to be superior. They think that they are gods.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's a classic video. It's probably not on YouTube anymore, but you can find it on BitChute, I imagine. But it's an old thing where President Clinton and President Bush Sr. were talking on CNN together about something. I don't know what it was, but it's truly a classic because it's one of the best slit eye type videos you can see, and it's on Bush Sr. I don't know if some of you may have seen this. I always thought it was a classic, but again, YouTube's been wiping this stuff out, and the internet's wiping things out, so things go by. But if y'all ever want to see something interesting, look up the Bush and Clinton reptilian eye, something like that. Go ahead.
In many cases, it's also demonic possession too. It's not always,
true,
of the serpent, but yeah.
Yeah, true, for sure. And that probably goes back to the Black Eye Club. Like that black eye is, maybe that's when they finally put one on them or something. I'm not sure how that exactly plays out because I haven't been there to see it. But clearly, the Black Eye Club is a thing, and I believe it's related to the occult. Because honestly, I can't remember the last time I had a black eye. I was probably a child. That's not common. But how is it that all these celebrities and politicians and even the Pope keep coming up and getting black eyes, right? So we know there's something going on there.
Yeah, it's a humiliation ritual. They also make men
could be that too.
Put on dresses, and they do, they believe in sex magic, so they do depraved, wicked, abominable acts. Anything that's the opposite of what God would want and love. That's what these people do. The most abominable, evil things you can think of. I mean, they even drink urine. They eat feces. They drink human blood in mockery of the blood of Christ. All kinds of things, because it's they worship Satan, and the Book of Revelation predicted this would happen. There'd be a satanic empire that would want to take over the world, and eventually you wouldn't be able to buy or sell, which we see the infrastructure for that all being laid out right now at this very moment. I mean, even like the whole debit card thing. I mean, think about it. When you go to buy something, right, there's a chip on the card, and it scans the chip, right, in order for you to approve for something that you buy. So that within itself is already the beginning of it. You see how easily that chip can be moved from the card into your hand. So it's already all here. It really is.
Yeah,
Not
totally.
in the final version.
But it's all, you bet we're on the, I mean, look, there's CBDC talk and all the talk of digital currency and Dogecoin with Musk and all this. So, because they know that's where it's going to. It's all going to go digital currency, as we know, and then it'll be easier to control people, of course, like that, and not going to be cool. That's why I'll be so happy when I don't have to share the planet with these disgusting Luciferians and Satanists and witches and sorcerers, all of it, man. It's like, aren't you done? I'm done with these types of people and this creepiness and gross stuff and weirdness, and just to live in an eternity to never have to even think about all the gross stuff they do,
Exactly. Yeah, man. I can't wait. There's going to be a new heaven and a new earth, and the government will be upon his shoulders. So Jesus will be reigning and ruling, and there'll be no more of this wicked, evil stuff happening anymore. So can't wait. Definitely something to look forward to and hope for. And it's also, as dark and bad as it is to live in these times, in a way, it's kind of cool because we get to see all of the prophecies take place. How many generations of Christians wish that they could see these things. We get to see it. So in a way,
I know
we're blessed.
I think about that too. I even wonder what kind of glimpses John got, a long time ago, seeing what he saw and what that would have been like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man.
What was he seeing in the future? Was he seeing like TikTok whores of Babylon and stuff like that? I mean, I just wonder. It's weird.
Well, in a way, the book of Revelation, like back in the day, like when it was hard to understand certain things in it, and now when you read it, you can understand a lot more. And John was definitely seeing what we're seeing now. I mean, when it says that the two witnesses are killed, right? It says that every eye will see them. Well, back then it was kind of impossible, but now with the cell phone and the cameras and everything, right? It's just
great point.
They're going to be broadcasted everywhere. That didn't exist back in John's day. It's like, how would every eye see them? Well, now we know, right?
And the prophecy in Daniel of the spread of knowledge and all that also, right? The computers.
Oh yeah, the cell phone is all of human knowledge in the palm of our hands, right?
Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
The symbol of the cell phone, guess what it is? It's an apple with a bite taken out of it. It's a half alien, that too. But also another thing is that it's an apple, right? That's the apple from the Garden of Eden.
Right.
The tree of knowledge. So literally the symbol on this device that we use that has all of human knowledge on it, which knowledge increasing, is the symbol of the tree from the Garden of Eden that Adam and Eve ate from, which the serpent told them, if you eat of this tree, you shall be as gods, right? And now we see that the elites have this delusion that through knowledge that, hey, we can become God. It's the same lie from the book of Genesis, because they believed the lie that the serpent told them. That's what the Satanists believe, that through knowledge that man can become God. So now with things like transhumanism, what they want to do is that they want to alter and change human beings, merge human beings with technology, because they believe that we can become God, and this has always existed in Freemasonry as well. Once you get to the 33rd degree in Freemasonry, you become something known as a worshipful master, an ascended master, and they believe that you literally become a god. And they literally still do rituals where they try to put like the spirit of George Washington in people and stuff, and all kinds of things, because it's always been part of what they ultimately believe, is that we can become God. But the reality is that Jesus Christ is God, and we can become sons of God through faith in him. But Satan and his distortion of everything has convinced these people that we can really become God, and somehow they think that we can defeat Jesus, or I don't know what they think. It's kind of a ridiculous idea. I mean,
it really is, though. It really is.
He's the most powerful being in existence. How can you ever defeat the most powerful being in existence? It's kind of crazy.
We understand too that, and well, it's it is a beast system, and that's the other thing. So there's something happening there that maybe a lot of us don't see. But yeah, this is that was Satan's to give Jesus. So it is the beast system, and like you said, that's what's happening. It's just perfect for this system because they don't want to go to heaven. They don't want that eternity. They believe in the beast system, the devil, that he can create his own here, his own immortality through this digital wave that's coming our way, right? So
exactly, it's literally like they're creating essentially it's like a giant prison. I mean, it really is like they're using AI to create some kind of a surveillance state where everything you do will be tracked, monitored, and controlled.
Yep, credit system, totally.
It already exists in China. If you look into how it is in China, I mean, it's absolutely unreal. I mean, that is the beast. I don't think it's a coincidence that the national symbol of China is a dragon, which is Satan. So,
Yep.
you know, it's gonna be exactly like how it is in China. It's gonna be like that over here. I mean, it's the building of this final New World Order satanic system, and we're witnessing it happen right before our very eyes.
I know, it's pretty amazing, and not scary. It's amazing, and I enjoy trying to rip it down, you know, as much as I can and show people stuff. That's how I look at it, you know, as I hope it's helping, just sharing real information and trying to share observations and help people understand, the new people that don't know, that, you know, there is a mind control that's taking place here. There's occult rituals that we watch, you know, there's all this happening. And as long as you understand there's an enemy behind it, then you can defeat them, you know, with Christ, of course, and the Holy Spirit, which gives us the eyes to see these things, and the ears to hear, of course. But yeah, super important that we are aware and awake these days, and watching, because we definitely have a worthy enemy. And most people walking around don't even think about it, don't even consider him, don't think about demons. And I'm not saying we should obsess over him either, but we have to be totally aware that this is his system and his demons, and they hate you, and they want to drag your soul to hell. And the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ. And all that information is so important, and we just don't see it out there. You know, we don't see people thinking about it, living it. So we try. You don't get discouraged. We try, even if we don't all have to have a platform to reach people. You know, we tell our friends, our family, our coworkers, your neighbors, whatever, and just pray for it, you know, because I like to think that's the time we're in, is just try to get as many people on the ship as possible. And, you know, before the restrainer leaves, which is going to be horrible for this world. But go ahead.
Let me read this verse to you. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Behold, I give you the authority to trample on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Nevertheless, do not rejoice in this, that the spirits are subject to you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. And that's something to rejoice about. You know, our names are written in heaven. He knows our name. He knows every hair that is on our head. And, you know, we just gotta, no matter how dark it gets, you know, his light shines through us. You know, just keep following him and keep praying, and, you know, do everything we can. But, you know, we're here for a reason. We were chosen, I believe, to live in these times for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, he has a plan and a purpose for all of us, you know?
Absolutely, man. Great point. And yeah, that's what it is. This is the time. Yeah, this is there really is a war in heaven. And like I said, it's amazing how much is manifesting in this world now, and the world's not ready for it. So I think a lot of people are just convinced it's all going to be blue beam. It's all government. It's all fake. But when they realize it's mixed, I definitely believe it's mixed, that it's real entities coming down here and things like this, and people are going to freak out. You know, maybe it's the whole men's hearts will fail them type thing. I'm not sure, but
the return of the old gods,
right?
The time where the gods walked amongst us. You know, that's the aliens claiming. I mean, demons claiming to be aliens, because, you know, if you know it's a demon, you know it's evil. But an alien can be good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
people love
perfect.
aliens.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
it really is.
To convince people, it's perfect for a demon to do that. And, you know, even Aleister Crowley, he talked about this entity called, you know, it was called the Lamb entity. And it's a demon. And he said, in my time, they call them demons. You know, in the future, they'll call them something else. So I think that's, you know.
Good quote. Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while. Good one.
Yeah. And it was a gray alien. You know, it's exactly what we think would be a gray alien. He described it. This is a demon, right?
Yeah, LAM was his name. Yeah, Lamb. And there's also there's a currency in the UK. I'm not sure which note it is, but it's one of those you can fold, and there's a hologram gray alien and a UFO on that one shooting a beam down. So yeah, that stuff's, and of course the Apple logo. If you guys didn't know, you can take two Apple logos and put them together, and it's a gray alien. If you didn't know that one, but anyway, John, anything else you got for us? It's been a good chat.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, I've been listening to you for a long time, and thanks for all you do. One of the people that helped wake me up. I've actually been listening to you. I mean, not sure if it was you specifically, but since I was a kid, literally, like, I always knew that I was in the end times. I'm Gen Z. Not all of us have been brainwashed.
Love it. Thank you.
Good. Since I was literally 8 years old, you know, 9/11 videos on YouTube. You know,
look at you. Yeah, you wanted to know.
That's how it started. Yeah.
Good for you.
You know, it's just great to finally talk to you, man. And God bless you. I love you, and I hope you have a great day.
John, thank you, man. Love you too, my man. And really a pleasure chatting with you. And thanks too. Yeah, I love it hearing from the Gen Z and millennials when they'll correct us and say, okay, we're not all brainwashed zombies. So I always love to hear from y'all, man. But John, take care. Thanks again.
Yep.
Okay, bye-bye. John 3:16, thank you so much. All of y'all have been awesome tonight. I'm not just saying that. The crowd agrees. All right, let's see if we can do one of these. That's pretty cool. And next up, we have got Tyler Bennett.
Hey, KJ, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, brother?
Really good. Hey, thanks for your patience tonight.
Man, hey, no problem. Yeah, it's awesome. These shows are so cool, and I definitely really appreciate you putting them together because, you know, like you've got your show that you put out, but your audience, there's so much collective knowledge and wisdom amongst the people that tune in, and it's just really cool to tune into these call-in shows. And I'm sure from your perspective, there's probably a lot of question marks that can be a little bit hectic, but I definitely appreciate it because I get to hear all kinds of perspectives from people I never would hear otherwise.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, I'm glad that you see it that way, perceive it that way. That's the whole thing behind it. It's what I wanted to do too. And I'm aware of that too. I'm glad you see that also, that there's so much to be found in the people. You know, It's like, you know, it doesn't have to just be my show. You know, it's like, let the people come in, you know. And so thanks. I love them too. So they're always great, man. I much appreciated.
How's cool to hear from John. He said he's a Gen Z. I would not have guessed that listening to him. And
me either.
Yeah. You know, something I've noticed is like when I talk to people these days, there's a lot of hopelessness and confusion, a lot of like darkening of the mind. But I also run into people from time to time that just really surprise me with how much depth of understanding and wisdom that they have at really a very young age. There's a lot of eyeballs being opened. There's a lot of closed eyes, but there's a lot of eyes that are really being opened and rapidly.
I love to hear that.
Yeah,
I do. What are some of your experiences with that? If there's any in particular that you've seen?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, just talking to folks, just something I've noticed is that people, and I think you actually mentioned this in one of your previous callers, is that whether they can really put their finger on what it is, because a lot of people don't have, you know, they've never heard your show, or they have never heard any of the people that put out the information and really dig deep and uncover the hidden symbols and the hidden story, the story that's in the undercurrent of everything. They don't have any awareness of that, but they know something's going on and they're very aware of it. And I think that it is the younger generation. It's just, and I run into them all the time. I was just up there picking up pizza at Papa Murphy's the other day, and there's this particular guy there. And every time I come in, he always wants to strike up a conversation, and he knows so much. He's so tuned in. He's a young guy. He's so tuned in, but he really knows nothing about the real spiritual war that's happening.
Right. He hadn't got there yet. I got you. Keep going.
Yeah. And there's a lot of there's a lot of them. And I think that here in the next year or so, a lot of people like that are going to suddenly see, because the world is changing so fast. And very soon here, we're going to have, like John is talking about, we're going to have the old gods walking amongst us. And all of a sudden, the people that built the pyramids are going to be here. And we're going to have this AI God, this hyper intelligent God that is the God of force, you know, the AI quantum computing God. And people that have been kind of asleep in this dreamy world of going to work 9 to 5, making money, saving up for retirement, all of a sudden they're going to have their eyes open and see that, holy cow, we really have been living in the Matrix. And now all of a sudden we're seeing how the real situation that the human race has been in.
Man, that is a great point. Yeah, well stated. Yeah, it's so many of these people are, unfortunately, they are going to be like what Yuval Noah Harari says, that in the quote future, which is, you know, this tribulation, many adults are just going to be sitting around playing video games and doing drugs.
Yes. Yeah. Big time. I know. I mean, I got, that's something I wanted to ask you about is, have you ever been able to, did you ever get off Kratom? I remember you talking about how you were trying to quit it.
You know what? I'd still do it, but I only do it 2 times a week usually.
Nice.
And yeah, that's it, and it's great. And as long as that's been for ever since I start a year and a half, 2 years now. So that's how it worked with me. But it's been great because I've never changed the amount. It's always
That's
the
good.
same, and it's been smooth. Yeah, man. So that's what you have to do with it. I always tell people if they ask is you definitely have to respect the stuff. If you take too much, it can get dangerous. You can get addicted to it, pretty quick physically, and but at the same time, it can help people off of opioids and off of really hard drugs. And so there's great benefits and there's danger,
I got hooked on it around the time COVID. I would just like that when COVID happened. And that's when I started learning about the rapture too. So I thought it was funny that you said that you started learning about the rapture around 2021, because I had only ever heard the word. I really knew nothing about it. It's just like Jesus is coming back eventually, I guess. That's what it says in the Bible. but then all of a sudden COVID happened, and it was just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, oh boy.
It's now. Like, it's not sometime in the future. It's now. And it was like, bam, all of a sudden I saw it, and it just made so much sense, the time that we were in. But it was a really scary time for me. And I had a lot of like panic and anxiety, and I got hooked on Kratom when during that time. And I was on it for several years. And it was really hard for me to get off it, but I eventually did get off it. And so, I just thought that was cool that you had brought it up that you were trying to get off it at one point in time a while back.
Yeah, I went too deep with it. Well, you know how it just makes you feel good, and I don't know if you're doing the pills or the liquid, but so I just got to the point where it's like, and I'd used it steadily, just a few days a week or whatever in the beginning, and then so I started taking more. That's all it was. It like, oh, it feels good those days, let's do it this day, and
right.
And the next thing you know,
then this much more might feel better.
Right. Then you wake up sweating, and it even happens. It happens to the best of us, I mean, I never try to act like I'm above anybody either. I've had my struggles with stuff, but I went out to our place we have out by the lake, and I dried out and just prayed a lot, listened to a lot of sermons, cried, but finally took about 4 or 5 days. Oh yeah, about 4 or 5 days of really hard days, not eating. Feeling flu-like symptoms, going to the bathroom a lot. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, but it works. I mean, that's what you brought up. It's like during those times when the world started getting really, really dark, man, when I started taking Kratom, it was like, I just felt good. And all of a sudden I didn't care about all that stuff that was happening outside my doors. And it was like a very nice relief for about an hour, or a couple hours when I first started taking it. But yeah, the thing about it is, it's like, it's just not a good long-term solution, because you do start to need more and more and more. And then it becomes a real bad physical addiction.
That's true. That's why if people can learn, if there's users, limit it to just a couple days a week, take it maybe on a Saturday and go hiking, or Sunday hiking, or something like that, whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Then eventually you won't even care about it anymore,
That's true. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask you, KJ, we're almost at 2025. You've got your finger on the pulse. You got any like big predictions? Like, where do you think we're going to be at 365 days from today? I mean, these are some pivotal years coming up. A lot of stuff is going to happen either next year or the year after that. I mean, these could be huge years for the human population. Like, what do you think? Where do you think we're going to be at in a year?
Man, honestly, I don't see us here, and I'm talking within, it's got to, because now that the alien thing is being played, I mean, it's got to just be a matter of months, weeks. Now that's just my feeling. And again, folks, I can be wrong. I'm not saying as a statement for sure, but then again, for the last couple of years, I have a feeling of imminence every single day, like my eyes are always lifted up. And then now, of course, with the UFO alien stuff, I got excited. I was like, wow, now it's time. They're doing it. Okay. Because I've been waiting on this. But yeah, it's moving. And the war, and let's look at the Middle East, man. Biblical war is forming. Russia now involved, surrounding Israel. I mean, all these countries are. So it's getting and Damascus is being rained down upon. So it's like all
World
this
War
stuff.
III could break out in Damascus, in Syria. There's so many different forces there that have their own various interests in that place.
Totally, man. And then look, we're poking the bear with American weapons and Russia. So, yeah, I mean, everything's lined up to me perfectly right now for the pop off for, maybe bombs in New York City. I mean, I guess I better be careful. Whoops. Sorry, YouTube. But, a boom in New York City, and as it's on the money, and then Hoover Dam's on the money being destroyed. So I'm seeing maybe they hit just a few certain points in America because they don't want to destroy all the infrastructure so they can use it, is the idea. Not that they're going to get it, but, we'll see. But I see that happening, and then perhaps that's when the alien thing comes in and stops it. Suddenly UFOs appear all over the world, and they're like, we're here to stop you from annihilating yourself. Perhaps somewhere in there is the rapture of the church, which could also fall in perfectly within this timeline somewhere. Yeah. Like, this is our explanation. We're here to explain the disappearance. And people have had dreams and visions of that exact scenario for many years. And, I see it in predictive programming, and I see it in the everything, so, but like I said, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. I certainly don't know the day. I know it's imminent. The Lord has been showing me 9/11s now for probably 6 months, along with the 111s, which I've been getting since 2012. The last 6 months, it's 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, and 111, 111. But it's now it's mixed in. So to me, that's one of his signals to me. Again, just confirming that we're about to have the next one of those things.
Boy, I know. Tell me about it, man. 2025, all that stuff that you brought up could absolutely happen. All of it in 2025. Things are so lined up. But then again, it's also good to be cautious, because, man, I thought that this stuff was going to happen for the last 3 years. Every year I thought was going to be the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I didn't know we'd make it out of 2024, and we're pretty close. About it.
Yep. I remember going into 2024 a year ago and thinking, this is going to be the year. It
has to be.
It has to be. But here we are now going into 2025.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is there is a hard line that we're not going to be able to cross. And when I look at all the various factors that are at play, sometimes I look at like the war and the aliens and the rapture and these things. I think maybe I'm just going insane. Maybe I'm reading into stuff. Am I really like looking at this situation with a clear head? And the one factor that always brings me back to reality and makes me realize that, yes, I'm looking at this with a clear head, is artificial intelligence and quantum computing, because those two things have the power to change the world to such a massive degree that the post AI quantum computing world would not be the world that Jesus is going to come back to, because it's going to be too vastly different from the world described in the Bible. It's going to be basically a completely different world. And Jesus doesn't come back to a different world. He comes back and completes this story, the story that we're in right now. He's the completion of this story, and AI is going to take us into a totally different story. And that is going to happen even if you look at no other factor but that one factor alone, the progress of technology towards AI and quantum computing. That's coming in a couple years regardless. So whatever's going to happen has got to happen before that point, in my opinion.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, that's a great point. I love the way you laid that out. And AI is certainly not going away. It's coming in hard. Even Elon, like we've noticed, on one hand, he says it's summoning the demon. On the other hand, he's proudly putting it in all of the Optimus robots, not everything. So
Optimus robots,
it's all coming, man. And it's you're right. AI is certainly going to be a huge part of it. It's already freaky. It's already doing stuff on the internet, I believe, and removing things and messing with things and screwing with people's channels. And, I believe on some level that's already kind of out there and it's happening. But
it could be. We might already have. They call it AGI. Whoops, did I lose you? Oh no, I just minimized.
I'm here.
I'm still here. They call it AGI, artificial general intelligence, and that's the point where AI is going to be really truly like better in every way than a human brain. And they might already have that. Like OpenAI is releasing their new language learning model this coming month. And they're saying that this model is AGI capable. It's fully capable of replacing humans.
That's boy. And just remember, really, it's even behind the guise of we're dealing with ancient demons, with all this stuff. So yes, they're super intelligent. They got the answers. They're, all of that, man. So just to think it's about to be just unleashed, it truly will. And the fact that so many people have done the squirt. And if you all have and you're scared, please turn to Christ, man. He's the great physician. And just repent is the word. It's got a
That's
sting
right.
to it, that word, but change your mind on the squirts. Don't ever do it again and realize it's a bad thing from the devil. It truly is. And it's a curse, it's a hex, and it's also a component to the mark of the of the beast.
No doubt.
Yeah, so don't do it, y'all. Turn to Christ. Okay.
And something about that too, I've always thought, like, people worry about, like, I used to worry about my salvation a lot. Something that really dawned on me is that if you're worried about those things, you really have nothing to worry about. Because if you go to like a Pride event, you go to the World Economic Forum, you can be sure that none of those people there are worried about their salvation. None of those people there are worried about whether or not they took the mark of the beast. So if you're worried about those things, you're worried about whether you should have got the squirt, then that's a sign that you are chosen, to inherit eternal life. Because if you weren't chosen for eternal life, I guarantee you won't be worrying about whether or not you're saved or not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Great point.
Yeah.
That's a great one. True. Yeah, you're worried about the right things if you're trying to please the Lord.
Exactly. That worry was put into you by that spirit of truth. That's the spirit of truth telling you, hey, buddy, you probably should be thinking this stuff through before you get another one of those things injected in your arm. And if you got the spirit of truth telling you that, then man, you're good. You maybe made some mistakes, but holy cow, we've all made terrible mistakes in our lives. So that just makes us all common with each other. We're all family in that way.
Yeah. It's always good to remember that too. I keep that in mind. It keeps us humble. Remember our shortcomings. Remember that there's people out there suffering so much more than you, and you have no idea. And count your blessings is something I always think of. Even keeping an attitude of gratitude. If you don't know what to pray for, have an attitude of gratitude. Just go down the list and pray him for all things, because all good things come from him.
Yeah.
All good things. Yeah.
And that's another good point too, is like I didn't get the thing in my arm, but so I can't really relate to people that did, but I've been an addict, we were just talking about kratom or whatever. So when I talk to people that are really struggling with addiction, it's so natural for me to be able to encourage them, because man, I have felt that demon, that oppression, that darkness. I know it really, really well. So when I'm talking to people, it's very natural for me to be able to encourage them and help them see a light at the end of the tunnel. And so, we all share in this collective burden that we're carrying, the burden of just being alive in this world. And we don't all experience it the same, but it's really, truly a blessing when you go through those hardships and you have the guilt and the shame in your heart, and your heart feels very broken about those things, because you've got a brother that's just right, that you're going to run into. Maybe you'd haven't even met him yet, and he's struggling with that same thing, and he needs you because you've been through it. You've been through the fire, you've been tested, and you made it through. And he needs to know that somebody else has made it through the same fire that he's struggling with.
Beautiful, man. You're being a helper. It's right there, man. It's like, that's the spirit. You're in it. And that's the way to do it. It's so great. It's so great, man. Just think, isn't it? There's so many of us out here. We're fighting our own spiritual wars in the real world, trying to help people. And but we don't need to be seen by the world. The Lord sees all these cool things we do, and we're not here for the personal glory. And I just can't wait to get there and see him and cast our crowns on his feet. It's fine, Lord, you keep it.
That's when life is going to begin. Like I don't like the word afterlife, because that implies that like this is life and what's coming is afterlife. This is pre-life. Life is what we're headed towards.
Yeah, that's the attitude, Tyler. That's
the real thing coming up, man.
I think about it all the time. All the cool adventures. Awesome, yeah, and it's like there'll be reflections, like things in this world that maybe we did like having get-togethers with family and friends. We'll have it up there, but it's gonna be so much cooler and amazing. And just imagine,
nothing good is lost, man. If there's something good down here and you can look at that thing and say, man, that thing is good, you can be sure. Maybe it's going to look different on the other side, but you can be sure it's going to be on the other side.
Great point.
Yeah. And if it is different, it's because what we're experiencing down here is just a shadow of the real thing. The real thing is what we're going to get to when we get there.
That's the best attitude. I hope y'all out there take that in, and because I have that too. I'm always thinking about just the cool things to come. Not, we look at the world, and I have my obsession with my job here, so I'm never going to stop that. But man, on the other side, I'm always looking up and just saying, man, Dad, I can't wait to give you a hug and see you. And also I always tell him to thank the angels that protected me my whole life, and all this stuff, just I can't wait to see all of them.
Well, you were talking too about being a music producer a little bit ago, and I don't know if there's music producers on the other side per se, but there's going to be something like that. There's going to be music, and there's going to be people that are going to be able to create that.
I'm with that. Yeah, I hope I get to do that, and I even think that too. Like I said, it's just I only got into the music thing. I've got some instruments over here and things over the last year and a half, and then sometimes I think, well, I got into it so late because of the time we're in. But just like you said, I always think, all right, Lord, you got a plan. And maybe when I get there, I'll get to really have some fun with music.
Yeah, big time. Another thing you brought up too, and I was talking to one of my best buddies. He lives over in Idaho, and I rarely ever see the guy, but I saw him. He was over here for Thanksgiving. So he and I hung out for a little bit. I've known him since we were really little kids. And I was blessed with meeting my wife in high school. So we got married, and I never had any kids though. And my buddy Andy, he never got married, nor did he have any kids. He's lived with his brother, and he's been single. And so we were just kind of catching up and stuff. And I asked him, it's like, man, because we're nearing 40, I'm 39 this year. And so we're kind of getting to the point where it's like, if we're not gonna have kids here, then we're not going to have kids at all. Like it's just the way that it is. We're kind of getting older now. And so I asked him, do you regret, not having any kids? And he's like, well, it's not, I might still have kids. I might still get married and stuff. You might still meet a girl. And that's definitely true. But I feel like there's a lot of people who feel that kind of anxiety. Like if I don't get married now, if I don't have kids now, I'm never going to be able to do that. Like I'm missing out.
Yeah,
do you feel that at all? Because I never understand that you kind of decided that you're probably not going to get married at this point.
I never did, man. I knew like early on in my life, I always felt, again, just a part of this world. I was saved when I was 11, but beyond that, even before, I just never felt a part of it. As a teenager, I never felt the need to have somebody else like a partner in this life.
Yeah.
But that was just me. But it's not to say I didn't have relationships. I had some that lasted for a real long time. And so periodically throughout my life, I was doing what I shouldn't do as a Christian anyway. And, getting together with different girls throughout the years. But no, man, I finally hit a point, especially after I started doing what I'm doing, probably 2012-ish or so. But he really just kind of changed my heart. And it just started making more sense to me. I'm like, whoa, okay, like all this stuff. And I started realizing we really are in the end times early on. And then I was like, okay, that makes sense to me now, because I never wanted to put roots down here. It's not that I didn't have, there weren't women I loved and cared for, but it just never worked out, So I was like, I really think that's when I say I feel like I was made for this time. That's why. It's like he made sure I didn't have a distraction of a family. He knew I'd love them, and then that would be my attention, and children. Yeah. But no, I got Chubbs, which doesn't require a lot of attention. He doesn't. And, but I get to put my full focus, thank the Lord too, for all those that support the videos and shows, but I put my full focus on what I do. And that's how it makes sense to me. Though through the years, I had to deal with the worldly stuff, people questioning it. What's wrong? Why didn't you get married?
Yeah.
All that. But anyway, whatever, I was never really a part of this place. That's the way I see it.
Well, yeah. So I feel you exactly the same way. Not so much being married, because I was blessed with a wife, but never having kids. For a long time I felt like, man, I'm missing out. Like the grass is greener on the other side. I got this buddy that's got 7 kids. He's got 2 sons and 5 daughters, and I'm like, dude, that's so awesome. Am I never going to have a family? And since COVID, since I've really started reading my Bible more and praying more and really, really focusing on the life that's coming, I've gained a lot of peace there, because I really feel like no one's going to miss out. Like once we get to the other side, we're going to see that everything we wanted to do, if it was good here on earth, everything we wanted to do, whether it's be married or have children, there's going to be the opportunity on the other side. And one scripture that I've heard people use to discourage people against that perspective that we might be able to have a partner on the other side is when Jesus is talking to the Pharisees about marriage, and they bring up a story about a man or a woman that had 7 husbands, 7 brothers, each was her husband. And they say, well, in the resurrection, which one is going to be her husband? You know the scripture I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, and Jesus says, well, don't you know? I mean, come on, you guys. He says, don't you know you're not going to get married when you're in heaven? You're going to be like the angels. And he says, you're not going to get married, and you're not going to be under the shadow of death anymore. And so people use that and say, well, if you're not going to get married here on earth, then you're never going to have the opportunity to get married. But something that struck me, and something I want to point out in case anybody out there who's listening has not married and feels like they're missing out on that, Adam and Eve were like that also. They also were not under the shadow of death. Neither were they ever married one to another. Eve began her life one flesh with Adam. They never were two flesh being brought together, but they were one flesh right from the very beginning. And so I don't know what the future on the other side of all this is going to look like, but I think it's reasonable to see our future as being kind of like Adam and Eve. They were perfect. And if Adam had Eve, then I don't see any reason why we couldn't expect us to have some type of partner in eternity forever and ever in a perfect way.
Man, that's a cool thought, Tyler. I like that, man. I like it. Actually, it's a good thought for us to probably stop on. Not to be rude, but we definitely went over a bit, which is fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I was enjoying it, man. So I was trying not to stop it and let people flow, but it was a great flow, man. Lots of excellent points. You're bright man, Tyler. It's nice talking to you.
Thanks, KJ. Hey, and I love you, brother. And thanks for having me on, man. It's just such a pleasure to be able to talk to you.
You're so welcome. I love you too, Tyler, and I'll see you in the clouds, okay?
See you in the clouds. Take care.
Take care. Thanks again, you guys. All of y'all are so great tonight, man. So I've got 4 people left. We'll probably, let me see, Matt, William, Paul, and Lynn. I guess we'll probably stop around there. While I'm waiting, let me quickly throw the link to my live show tomorrow over on Rumble. Give it a chance. If you have trouble with ads on Rumble, I suggest you do what I do. Get the DuckDuckGo, search engine, and it kills all the ads, man. That's how I do KJ's What Happened and the other show, Uncensored, with no ads, because I have that on there. But yeah, I'm still active over on Rumble, big time. KJ's What Happened tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard. Hopefully you can make it. All right, then let me jump back over here. Let's try a different background here for our next guest. Let's try. These are always somehow soothing. I kind of like these tornado ones. Oh, Matt Cluis says you will need to connect your mic and cam before I can add you to the stream. So just letting you know that. The message I get says they will need to connect their mic/cam before you can add them to the stream. So I don't even have a button, excuse me, where I can add you in right now. So I'm going to jump to William next, okay? And then I'll come back to you, Matt. All right? Let me see. There we go. Hi, William.
Hello there, young man. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's good to see you. I know we've talked before.
We've actually never talked live, but I'm proud to say I'm now a patron. I'm a contributor to your show.
Man, thank you. You look a lot like someone I talked to. Sorry about that, but go ahead, man.
Well, I look like a lot of people that people talk to because my background was as a radio and music producer, and I retired in 2020 because of COVID. And I have followed you from the beginning. I'm sending you $50 a month now. I'm not a rich man, but I love what you're doing. I just wanted to give you a little dissertation on what's happening here in California, and I kind of feel like we're the ones that we've been waiting for, KJ, and I feel like this is our time to shine, and that we're all supposed to be doing this. And I'll never forget March 11th. 2020 when the lockdown started with COVID, and everyone in my family got the shots except for me and my youngest daughter. So I take care of my wife and I take care of my youngest daughter. I'm a father with 4 grown children, 1 boy and 3 girls.
You're blessed.
The other 3 girls are all found love and they're all married and everything. But when the lockdown came, something just spiritually deep in my soul just said, I cannot take this jab. And they made it political, and it divided our family. My brother-in-law had lung cancer in full remission for 3 years, had 2 Pfizer shots. A year later, got a triple cancer and died of a brain tumor.
Oh, wow.
My wife had 3 years of remission for breast and bone cancer with 4 tumors that were totally dissolved and gone. And after 9 months of pressure from family and friends, she ended up with 2 Pfizer shots. And 13 weeks ago, they found a new cancer, a triple cancer. And unfortunately, she just had a mastectomy 13 weeks ago.
Man,
And now she's dealing with unbelievable lymphedema and pain and all kinds of things. And the bizarre thing is, with all the negative things going around, I just see a lot of positive things that are happening. I feel that my responsibility is to leave people better than I find them.
It's a great attitude.
I couldn't live in fear anymore, KJ. So in 2007, I moved to New Zealand.
Oh, wow. Did you? Good for you.
I lived there.
I've always wanted to go there. Go ahead.
I lived there for 5.5 years. I moved 11 times. One of the most bizarre experiences that happened to me was I got to produce a small budget documentary about eating, good food.
Mm-hmm.
But the strangest thing happened was I met this guy by the name of Vinny Eastwood. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
That name sounds so... Oh my gosh, you met... Okay, you know what? He's kind of a legend in the conspiracy theory realms. He's been around for like over 10 years, probably as long as I have, maybe longer.
Yes.
I know Vinny. Yeah. But I've always been not totally sure about him, honestly. I wasn't sure, so please tell me.
Well, in a bizarre twist of fate, I met Vinny in about 2008, 2009 in New Zealand. And I became his somewhat fabulous producer, KJ, for 2.5 years. I was Vinny's producer. And
okay.
The best show we ever did, I'm not trying to toot my own horn tonight. I'm just want to encourage all of your followers and listeners and everyone in your community to just let them know we can really make a positive difference in this world right now. You know what I'm saying? And so for 2.5 years, I produced Vinny's show. My favorite show I produced was we interviewed George Norrie of Coast to Coast AM on June 11th.
Did you?
Yes, June 11th, 2011. We interviewed George Norrie. And so that was sort of the peak for me. I came back to America in March of 2013. And my wife is a school bus driver. God bless her. We've been married for 38 years.
Good for you.
It was love at first sight. She's been putting up with my stuff for years. My awakening happened in 1967 as a 10-year-old boy.
Wow. What happened?
My wife is a Christian. I was raised as a Reformed Jew, and I met a bunch of Israelis from Israel, and I got chills down my spine, bro. I was like 10 years old, and I said, there's something demonic and evil about these people who are coming over from the Middle East.
Nice.
But I never told my mom or dad. I just felt it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a King James Version Bible that I read every day, and I'm just grateful I have my wife and daughter. I want to encourage your listeners, please don't give up, because there's so much good we can still do in this world, and I won't hide anymore. Like I will openly confess, when I sent you the first $50 contribution, I took one of your full episodes. I'm on Substack right now. So
cool.
I took one of your full episodes and I put it up there, and then I talked about how I'd been following you for years and and
thanks, William.
Yeah, no worries. And the reason I go by William Billy Shears is that's my alter ego. That's my, my truther name.
I gotcha. Yeah, no problem. Totally understand.
I go by the name of the guy who replaced Paul McCartney, but that's a conversation for another show.
Actually, I'm curious too. I mean, just your history with music production, and I mean, that's like I mentioned that earlier in the show. It's interesting, but I mean, what was, if you ever had, I guess, your most interesting experience doing that, or you have anything like that?
If you want to hear my most interesting experience, in 1977, I met Nick Venet, who discovered and produced the Beach Boys, Jim Croce, Don McLean, and Linda Ronstadt.
Whoa.
And I took record production classes from him in 1977, 1978. I was 20 and 21 years of age. And in 1996, I started a record label with Nick Vinay.
Wow.
And a year later, he died of Burkitt's lymphoma, which is cancer of the blood, unfortunately.
Wow. Sad.
But yeah, and while I don't claim to be a famous person, my background was in radio producing and music production. And before that, I was in the finance business. I totally relate to your career in the film industry, because I had a small office on the Warner Brothers lot for 2.5 years.
Really?
And did film development there, and I've had a really interesting life. I really have.
I
So
love it. I can tell. That's why I'm asking. Well, we still got some time too. You know what's funny is in Los Angeles. Do you remember there's that radio station out there in LA that it had a radio production like class, and you could be a student there. They'd teach you how to be a radio.
Sure.
Man, I went through that.
Columbia School of Broadcasting?
Yeah. I fell for that. It didn't work out so good, but I did it.
Wow.
I know, but I was really, because I was trying everything at one point out there, and I went and did that. Yeah, I even did the background extra stuff for years.
I'm not a famous person, but as God is my witness, I've been around all these famous people. To give you a little further background, and I'm not sharing it out of ego, because ego to me always means edging God out, so
there you go. Of course,
I don't like really talking about my own background, but I'm doing it to share with the community here that we all have a life before this happened. You know what I'm saying? And as God is my witness, on my deathbed, I will be satisfied with my life because I actually left America and I tried to do something. You know what I'm saying?
I'm really glad you did that. If it wasn't for me having a mom and dad here in the States, I would never have stayed here, But yeah, I'm with you on that. It's good to challenge yourself, go somewhere new.
Absolutely. And to prove your point that you, my brother from another mother, have been right since 2012, okay? My great uncle, may he rest in peace, was a famous film director. His name was Alfred Santell, Alfred, Santell, Santell. It's a made-up name. But from 1914 to 1946, he directed over 90 films in Hollywood.
Wow.
And then he started the careers of David Niven, Red Skelton, and Marion Davies was my dad's godmother.
Oh my goodness.
So I was basically born in 1957, KJ. I was born at the wrong time. I should have been born in the 30s or 40s, but I wasn't,
Yeah.
But my heart goes out to you because I'm still in Southern California. I left the country. I really thought I'd never come back, but I did. And, my children are here, my sister's here, and God bless you, man. I listen to all your shows. I'll openly confess to you, when I watch your shows on Rumble, I kind of wait till the end of the show. And then I have a piece of software where I can download the whole show so I don't have to watch any of the Rumble ads.
There you go. I know they're a nightmare lately. Like I told y'all, get a, DuckDuckGo if not, or do what William did. Go ahead.
Yeah. So please know that I love you, brother. I'm on Substack. I started my own Substack a couple months ago, and I had like 16 followers. And then I started telling people the truth of my own belief about Christ and my own awakening from the age of 10. And now I'm up to like 1,650 followers. And
look at you.
I'm just putting little clips up, and it's just, I have a dear friend. I got to tell you, bro, he's a chiropractor. And since the COVID jabs, he's lost over 50% of his practice.
Oh my goodness. Because he's seeing the real life results.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. People that he had patients in their 70s walking 2 or 3 miles every other day. Now basically in a wheelchair.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. We see, unfortunately, a lot of that, what it's done, and just how the side effects, I guess I got to be careful. They never really end. It's like every few weeks we'll find a new one on the show. It's like, what the heck? It's just a never ending curse. And again, I'll shout out to the folks if you did the squirt and you're scared.
Yeah.
You should be concerned. I'm not trying to scare you, but turn to Christ on this. He's the great physician. He can heal you. He'll help you, but just turn away from that whole system, because they're going to come around again, whether it be the mark of the beast next or be something else before that. I don't know, but just don't take any more, But anyway, William, your Substack, is it under William Billy Shears, or what's the name?
No, it's the actual address. If you just go to santel.substack.com, the normal HTTP.
Yeah.
But it's the actual web page is Santel, SANTEL.substack.com. But on one of my postings is one of your full shows. I felt guilty putting it up there, but I figured if I'm paying $50 a month,
oh, of course, don't ever feel guilty. Share it all.
Yeah, so I put your stuff up there. But I promise next time I come on your show, I'm really more interested in your background and what happened to you in Hollywood. Because
oh yeah, gosh, so many just. Yeah, we'll talk. And again, there was never, and people have asked, it's not. I saw witches one time, but I never saw rituals and stuff. But dude, I was on all these MTV Awards shows. I was back when I was next to Katy Perry when she was smoking a cigarette. You're around all these people, but it just demystified it for me even more, which is the best. But yeah, that was just. We will, because we'll have to go back and forth. Another one of these conversations could continue. I could tell. You're a blessing.
Please know I'm now that I'm retired, KJ, anytime I can offer my experience or insights, it's free of charge. I will never charge you for what I know. And I'm happy to I'm doing the opposite of everyone else. Like I'm on an M1 MacBook Air right now, and I'm on an M3 MacBook Air right now. And I've got a iPhone 16 Pro Max because as crazy as this world is, I feel like I need the latest technology right now. And I feel like there's nowhere to run and hide anymore, bro. We either got to get on and get our message out, or we just got to run and hide. And I'm not going to hide anymore. So,
man, well, I love it. And what I'm doing right now, also, just while we're talking, so I went and found your Substack. So I'm going to put it here in the live chat.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, I don't charge for it. It's free. I've had one $60 subscriber commitment, but I am retired and I'm grateful for my blessings every day. I'm 67. I still have my health.
Yeah. You look great, man.
I never took the shots. I'm kind of a rebel as an old guy, man. I didn't realize.
I could tell. I like it.
I'll have to privately send you the letter from immigration where they basically told me after I started producing Vinny's show that I could be arrested at any time and deported from the country. I wear that like a badge of courage. Like that was the best thing that ever happened to me,
Yeah. That is cool. Yeah, man. You're great, man. We could continue, but I guess I better let you go and we'll move on.
No problem. But God bless you, KJ. And I just really appreciate it. I think you're really walking the walk, and you're doing the work of Jesus Christ, and you're a warrior, but you're doing it through the media. I'm really proud of you, man. And
thanks, William. I don't know if you ever knew my story, but that's what happened. Is so I moved to Hollywood to be a writer, director, and then the whole path just changed when I woke up to this stuff, man. The Lord really just changed my heart, changed my mind almost within moments when I started asking about all this, because I saw the footage. I was in Chinatown. I saw some footage on YouTube, which I was never on. I never did social media, and I saw the footage of Bohemian Grove from Alex Jones. Some people, may not think that's a big deal, but it shocked me that many years ago, because I was very Republican. I was ex-military, so I was kind of more conservative type. But it shocked my world. I prayed about it for him to show me everything. And so that's long story short. I eventually left Hollywood because of it. After I made the scariest movie ever made out there, after I woke up, and then I left, and went to Austin and became a bounty hunter for a couple of years, and was feeling a little kind of nihilistic towards this world. I think that's what I was kind of doing. And then I started uploading videos. But that's the short. Sorry, I don't want to rag on about myself. But yeah, man, we'll talk again. You have to.
My gift to you is I'm going to launch a podcast called Living My Life in Wi-Fi, and you're definitely invited to come on for 2 hours, because I think you ought to share your whole story, man, because I think it would inspire other Christians as well, because I was in the heart of the beast, man, producing all these records in Hollywood and doing radio shows and all this stuff. And I'm really glad I left it. I wasn't willing to sell my soul, and I wasn't willing to compromise my morality. I wasn't.
Me too.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man.
I love that. Yeah, you still did a legendary life on top of it, I think.
I did, and it's not over yet, and
Yeah.
oh man, and I'll leave you with this. We have to love our family enough to let them go if they're not on the same path,
Good
and
stuff. Oh, so true. Yep.
and there's a life that we learn with and a life that we live with. And just seeing all the zombies in the stores, Southern California has never been stranger, man. It is
I
so
bet.
strange here.
I
It's
bet.
it's just unbelievable. But anyway, God bless you. Thank you. Hope I didn't take too much time on your
No,
show, and
you're great.
I do apologize for talking about myself the whole time, but
No, I wanted to hear it. I appreciate it.
you asked for it, so I
Yep.
figured I better just tell you what it was. And yeah, if you go to VinnyEastwoodShow.com, you'll see interviews that I've done with Vinny on YouTube over the I've been home for 11 years now. So
Oh, cool. Oh, and also Vinny is a good guy, right? Like his heart's really in this. He's the real deal.
Vinny is the real deal, and
Okay, I needed to hear that.
And I can tell you, like the 90-second version of how Vinny became a truther. He was a top salesman for Vodafone. One of the
Oh yeah, that's big back. I could see that too.
And he was like a master salesman. So he wrote a letter to the head of Vodafone and said, here's all the ways you could save money at your company, and they wrote him back and they said, we're going to terminate you. We don't agree with the letter you sent the head of the company. We're going to cut you a check for $3,000. And they gave him $3,000. KJ, they fired Vinny. And within 60 days, Vinny had a brand new iMac and was making truther videos.
Oh, that's great.
That's
a great story.
he was arrested. I don't know if you're aware of this. The guy had a major. He was arrested during COVID and put in jail.
I'm gonna look him up again. Is he still on YouTube?
Yeah, he's still on YouTube, but
okay, I'll look him up.
Yeah, but be aware. The last time I talked to Vinny, to be honest, was maybe 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
and I'm just living my own life back in California right now. So
I got you, man. That's okay. Well, hey, gosh, it's been great talking to you, William. You already know. And thank you so much, man. I love you. And yeah, we'll do it again. Next time, please try to jump back and we'll do it again, okay?
Yeah, no worries. And again, I just appreciate everyone that's here. And again, I've been following you for years. And whenever I get down, I just turn on your show and it just gives me a big lift. And I just feel like I'm not so alone anymore. So
oh, great. That's great to hear. Thank you, man. Well, have a good night. Take care. And we got your Substack up there, so we'll have some new people come check you out, okay?
No worries. God bless, brother.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Man, awesome. Thanks, William. Nice chatting with you. Let me jump over here and let's throw a new background up. Let me see what else we got in here. I got a bunch. There's this. That's pretty cool. And we'll go to Paul. Paul's up next, and then there's Matt.
Hello.
Hi, Paul. How you doing, man?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Oh, thank you so much for hanging for so long,
yeah.
And for calling in too. It's always good to chat with you guys. How are you doing?
I'm a little under the weather. Since Christmas Eve, I've been under the weather. Didn't get to see my family or anything, but I'm home alone and just recovering.
Good.
Just thanking the Lord and thanking Him to get me better and back to shape again.
Yeah, it's that time of year. You got to watch out. There's avian flu's going to get you, and then there's monkeypox.
I still haven't got the shot.
Good. Keep it going.
I'm a true blood,
there you
and
go.
I'm going to keep it that way. I don't care what anybody says, and that's pretty much for my parents and my brothers and sisters too. I can't say the same thing for my extended family, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I'm the one that didn't do it either.
Yeah, they went down that path, which they know they're fully aware. I guess.
What can you do?
I know.
Just warn them. That's it.
I know. but I kind of feel like kind of reminiscent of the time right before COVID. I got the same in the same time frame right before COVID. I got sick, and then I knew it was something off because it wasn't a normal flu. You know, as I'm 45 years old, I've had plenty of flus and colds.
Yeah.
And at that time, you know, I lost my taste.
Oh,
And
you
I
did
didn't
feel
really,
that. Okay.
I lost my taste. I lost my taste. It felt like it felt like, you know how it feels like the day before you get sick, you start feeling
Oh
coming on.
yeah. You know
Yeah,
it's coming.
yeah, it was like that though for like 2 weeks.
Weird.
I
I
was
wonder
like,
if it's just a new additive they put in the Kims or something.
I don't know. And I was like, what's going on? Am I gonna get sick? What I can't I said it's not, I'm not gonna die, but it's irritating me.
Yeah.
It's annoying me at this point. I said, I'm gonna, you know, I'm not a guy too to go to a doctor, you know, as quickly. I don't really go, but so I waited it out. I was like, I told God, I said, okay, God, give me a few more days, and if it doesn't go away, then I'm gonna go to the doctor then. But it finally went away, and then sure enough, I started seeing those videos from China, and you know how they're locking the people in their apartments and
people
telling them
falling on their face and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was going to work at the time, and I was like showing some, you know, the guy says I'm a chef, and I was showing some of the other guys the line. I was like, hey, you see what's going on in China? And people were like, no, what are you talking about? And I was showing them videos. They're like, no, that's fake. That's some fake. That's fake. I said, no, it's real. Look what's going on right now. I said, that's crazy. And some people were just calling me a crazy conspiracy guy. And I'm like, okay. And then, you know, there was a few people though. They were like, yeah, man, I've seen this. And that's wild, dude. And then sure enough, a few days later, there was some woman came in into the restaurant. She had a mask on and she was Asian. I didn't want to, you know, say anything.
Yeah.
But I asked the server, I said, hey, can you ask her where she's from? And he went to go ask her, and yeah, she was from Wuhan. And I was like, oh my God. That's I said
It makes sense. Those people are heavily programmed, unfortunately.
it's like a movie.
Yeah. And they have the social credit score, so they're probably terrified.
Yes. And she was saying, like, she was talking to him about how what was going down, and that's why she left. Because it was getting crazy. And so she was a student. And so she came back. And she came back to school here. And anyways, I was like, wow. And then sure enough, and then, you know, Kobe died, right? What, a week before?
Oh, there's a lot of Corona stuff around that. I don't want to say too much. We got to be a little bit careful. I keep forgetting I'm on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that Kobe incident.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, this is all wild. And then, but, you know, thank God, COVID, I've always kind of, you know, believed in God. You know, I kind of grew up in the church a little bit. But I think as soon as COVID hit, as soon as the you know.
Yeah, I know.
he hit, I opened my eyes and I felt God talking to me. And he was like, you know, pretty much, you know, not an automated voice, but kind of just like through, just through like mind waves telling me, are you seeing what's going on here?
Totally. I know what you mean. Yeah. It's like the Bible says the sheep hear his voice, so it doesn't mean we're always going to hear an audible voice, but you know how it is when you're getting pushed towards something, right? Or you know,
gut feeling. Like you're like, there's something's not right here. Something's off.
Yep.
You know, and then like sure enough, I you know, I went home, and a couple of days later, you know, I see people at the store and they're getting crazy with the, you know, the groceries. I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. I was like, and just sure enough, and I was telling people for weeks, and thank God I stocked up a couple of days before that whole thing. You know, at the time I was like, no, I see what's going on here. But I was telling people. But anyways, that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like is going to happen again. I hate to say it.
Yeah. No, I think. I mean, it's definitely. I've seen all the programming for it. I know it's going to, and
yeah,
they're gonna use.
They're pulling all the cards out.
Oh yeah, they're all the Illuminati card game is real, folks. And it's actually being played.
They're pulling all the cards out. And what did Von Braun say? The alien card is the last one, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. That's why it's exciting too. But you know, also a little bit off that subject. Unless you have another point to make, I was going to ask you how long you've been a chef.
For about 15 years now.
Oh, that's really cool. Just because
Yeah.
there's a few points in my life I was a server. All through college, there's a place called Twin City Chop House. It was a 4-star restaurant, and I worked there almost 4 years. And then at one point in LA, I worked in a couple places, and then
I live in LA.
Oh, do you? Cool. Okay, I worked at a few places.
I live in Highland Park, right by Pasadena. I know you talked about Pasadena before.
Yeah, I love Pasadena. So my last job in Los Angeles, I was a night manager for a security company. So I drove a car around and checked all the guards, and we had because you know how beautiful it is up there. But in Pasadena, there was a really nice gated apartment complex, and actually this goes back to when I was waking up and I left the dream of Hollywood, because I had made the scariest movie ever made at that point, and my guard at this apartment complex was an ex-gang member. Dude had, and I think it was something big like MS-13, but he was a Mexican dude, tattooed face, tattooed hands, everything. But then he'd found the Lord, he got married, had a baby coming, so like he's changed his life. But he was so awake in all to this stuff, because the gang members know about a lot of this stuff too. So man, at night we'd be sitting there trading notes. But he was the first person that watched the scariest movie ever made, man. I made a copy and took it to him and said, check it out, And I think I went visit a couple weeks later, and I always let him know the night I was going to come, because we had so many places. And the night I got there, he told me to come up to the booth. I walked in, he had his back to me. He turned around. He had in his hands, holding both, he had a stack of DVDs he'd made of the movie. And he's like, bro, people need to see this. And I was like, yes. Yeah, isn't that cool? That's when I knew. I was like, all right, I got something,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've listened after you. I mean, I started off with Russian vids back in the early days. You know Russian vids, right?
I guess you probably don't know this, but I had a really strange encounter with him and Zachary Hubbard. You know who that is?
Not offhand.
Was
that his channel?
Anymore. Yeah, he was called Zachary Hubbard.
No.
I don't know if he may have changed the name of his channel now, but when I was in Central America, I was in Guatemala when this happened. Jeff C, of all people, contacted me on Skype and told me that someone had hacked my social media. So someone had hacked my Twitter, my Facebook, Skype, all this, and they were putting up stuff about Zachary Hubbard and Russian vids and a bunch of dirty stuff, and there was a whole crazy ass attack. It was weird. So and those guys, even back in the day, like they would come after your videos, flag them down. Jeff Seed had a lot of problems with Zachary Hubbard because he'd make videos making fun of Hubbard, which was shit. But anyway, you know how Jeff C was. But there was a whole like truther war thing years ago. Some of you old school folks with me remember these days, but where all the truthers are making videos against each other. But anyway, so I personally don't have a big opinion on those guys, but I don't hold that against you, because I know that especially Russian Vids has a real reach, and he's had fans for years, I
don't think I haven't seen anything recently. I mean, I don't think his videos are still even up anymore, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but Jeff C, I love Jeff C because I watched him from the beginning. I liked he was like a guy who just opened his eyes one day and was asking, what the hell is going on, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He had that kind of like approach to like what he was saying.
Oh yeah, he does. He knew how to rip and tear it down. Yeah. And he was great, man. Yeah. Like, so we were good friends there. We had a lot of great talks over the years. My whole thing is I've always hoped that he had Christ, because back then I didn't get into that a lot with him, I mean, although he knew, and I would mention my own faith, but I didn't ever try to but I don't know. But besides that, I just have to remember the good times we had, the truth he shared, and he really helped a lot of people. People still watch his videos.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Recently I got into Unplug Him.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic, man. Me and him have done live shows together in the past.
Oh, I can't. You guys should do another one again, because he just put off a video on Christmas Day. I think it was Christmas Day. He put one out, and it was a little bit of that. Man, the first like hour was just like, yes. This is how it's gonna go down.
Yeah, he's next level. If y'all don't know Unplug Him, brother Theo, UNPLUGEM, and the old school folks know that we did some shows together way back, and We did a show. I did a show with him in Days of Noah, and I think I
Yeah.
need to. It's been so long since I've been in contact. I need to. I'm bad like that. I just get
I
caught in
think,
my mind. Anyway, go ahead.
I think even Stars are going to do one.
Oh, they are.
The Stars, I think, yeah. They, Enter the Stars was just talking about it.
Oh, that's cool. Good. That'll be a good show.
Yeah, but I mean, the drone thing, I can't believe the drone thing right now isn't the biggest thing in the world right now, which is
I
unbelievable.
know. It goes to show how asleep people are, and also how
Yeah.
just how the mainstream media is. There's a plan for this. I'm sure. Just peppering it in.
It's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. I can't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, what is it going to take for these people to wake up, want to crawl out of a spaceship and crawl on their face? I don't get it.
Yeah, they don't show much to the people, because I find out what's on the mainstream when I talk to my folks, or I go see them. I'll see what's on, and yeah, they don't do a lot of talk about this. They're still pushing it that it's probably drones, and they don't see all the footage we see each week, from people's phones showing all this madness.
Yeah, and Iron Man himself, Elon Musk, hasn't said anything. I haven't heard nothing about it. Do you think he would say something about this?
Yeah, you'd think, right? So it's interesting. So we're seeing where this is going to go.
Yeah, you don't think he'd get on TV and say like, "Well, I'm going to send up my own drones and see what's going on," some kind of superhero crap.
His brother is involved in an entertainment drone company. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh no.
Yeah, pretty wild, eh? So and he did make some tweets about drone wars a few years back. I think 2022. He mentioned drones a few times, but that's about it. But yeah, nothing lately. And you would think, yeah, exactly, with all his stuff, space stuff.
Yeah,
we'd be talking about it. But yeah, still watching. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it is. I think it is, like you said, it is a mixture. I think it is our drones. I think it is some kind of entities.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Interdimensional. I'm kind of leaning towards that aliens or interdimensional. I'm on that type of guy.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're gonna find out, because they're not just putting this stuff out there to make it all go away. Like this is the beginning. So the whole thing is going to be playing out.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Do not be deceived. Main thing. Do not be deceived.
That's what I tell people. That's what I'm telling people too right now. And I already know. And I hate to say it, but I already know. I could already stand and look at people and point at people who are the ones to.
Oh, totally. And it's most people. I feel like. Yeah, it's sad. Well, all we can do is we've tried to tell them. We've tried to warn them all these years. We pray for them. We still love people, and there's never a nothing like that.
No.
It's like, oh boy, I'm sorry you didn't choose correctly.
No. But we do kind of bear the burden of the taunts and the crazy conspiracy people. That I know. I'm just like,
we're good with it.
I'm good with it. I'm just trying to help these people, God.
There you go. Perfect, man. Perfect, Paul. You got it.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go. Thank you for your time.
Paul, man, you're so welcome. For real, man. It's nice chatting with you. I hope you don't feel like you have to go. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we go?
Well, let's see. Well, like I said, I just hope no one takes the jabby jabs.
There we go. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And I kind of want to move out of LA like you did. I want to get out of here, but the restaurant industry is not too I'm from the desert area of California.
Oh, okay.
So there's not much going on unless you want to work at an Olive Garden or like a Red Lobster.
Outback. I work at an Outback too. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not much going on out there, but I do want to get out there. I'm cooking now for the Hollywood elites. I just cooked at someone's house. I can't say whose name it was, but I just did a Christmas dinner for a pretty high profile comedian from Saturday Night Live. I was at his house.
Cool. Do you ever see any of the crazy conspiracy stuff with any of the celebs?
Yes, I do. And I'm just thinking, I'm in their bathroom and I'm looking at the pictures on the wall and I'm just like, yeah, I did a lot of pictures in here with you and Obama. That's kind of funny.
Oh, really? There's some of that. Wow. 44.
Yeah, like totally. I'm kind of over the people here too. They're way libs and they're kind of antagonizing too. I don't even talk about my beliefs or whatever about that stuff at all. But they seem like the woke and the liberal people out here like to bring it up as like a badge of honor. when they
Oh,
talk
I'm
about
sure.
all
It's
this stuff.
nauseating.
Yeah, like the other day, my chef just brought up January 6th out of nowhere about like, oh, this and this and this and that. And I'm just like, I looked at her, I was like, oh, you mean the FBI?
Yeah, right. I mean,
I was
there's
like, oh,
truly innocent people have been suffering for years over there. It's sad.
yeah. And then and then October 7th, when she was talking about October, and then her husband brought up October 7th or something the other day, what happened over there in the east.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you mean what Israel let happen? You know what I mean?
They probably didn't like that.
No, they probably didn't, but I'm not gonna just I want to let them know that I don't believe whatever their narrative is.
There you go. Also, have you ever seen any hints of witchcraft or anything like that, or occult stuff with the people?
You know what? No, and I've been to a couple years ago. I went to a Hearst family's home.
Wow, that's big. Yeah.
Yeah, out in Montecito. And you know what? I didn't see nothing either really that was weird, out of shape or, kind of questioning. No, nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing,
and that's
nothing I could say.
yeah, that makes sense because of course, if they're doing stuff, it'll be later and somewhere else. But I had a really just quickly. You're reminding me of this, but my family's got a cleaning business, so I've always jumped in and helped clean and all this throughout the years. And
Yeah.
so when I got in LA, I had to do some side hustles, and one of them was with a cleaning company. It was just this. It was a Japanese dude, and he lived near South Central, and he was just running the business by himself. And he lived with his mom too. But anyway, so me and him would get in some gigs. I'd go help him out. He had other people, but he would get really crazy gigs. Like there was a party, a Hollywood party. They rented out a mansion, and it was going to be after some awards show. And we were there dressed in black and white, little suits and stuff. And we were the porters. So we're the ones who walked around cleaning up after the people during the party.
Yes.
Including the bathroom. It's pretty crazy. You saw everybody. I wouldn't even know where to start. Like back then, you saw all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But again, for me, over the few years I was out there, it just demystified, which was good for me. It made me start separating more, from this kind of thing. And then that's when I started learning about Hollywood sacrifice and Satan worship, early on. So it all worked out, anyway.
I Unplug Him too brought up the fact too that the reason why all these people are going down recently in the news, with the hip hop industry and people are, from Hollywood now, is that they're making way for the new gods to come in, because these new gods are going to be the only ones worshipped, and they're not going to have anybody worshiping the old, because all those people are all old gods now.
Yeah, that's a great observation. I mean, even the last few years, we've seen that influencers on TikTok and Instagram are more popular than Hollywood celebrities. So it's all changed. It's interesting. But they'll go away too, of course.
Yeah, and it's wild that all the names are coming out. It's just like, really? I'm like, wow, every day. And I'm like, oh my, what?
It's like nonstop.
It's nonstop. And I feel like, the devil's done using these people, and he's going to throw them under the bus now.
Mm-hmm. Good point, Paul.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I guess I better end it there. I got to watch myself. I can just drift in conversation with people. But it's been a pleasure, Paul. You're awesome. And what a cool job you've got. And Lord bless you. And stay safe. Don't let them sacrifice you to the devil or anything.
All right.
Take care, man. Love you, man. Take care.
Bye. Love you too. God bless. Bye-bye.
Cool, Paul. Nice chatting with you, man. So we got Matt and Lynn are the last two guests. That'll work out. They get us before midnight. That's okay. As y'all know, I got my show tomorrow. So let's try something different like that. That's kind of peaceful. And I'll jump over here to Matt. Matt, how you doing, man?
All right. How about you, KJ?
I'm good, thanks. Still hanging in there. It's been a pleasure. These are all like, they keep my mind going. They're talking to new people every few minutes. It's great. Go ahead. How's it going?
All right. Well, I was just thinking that coming towards the end of this year and going into 25, there's one story that really sticks out above all this year, since one probably next to last caller here. And that was, I think it was a couple months ago or less. I called into KJ Osborne's show and I talked to him, and I told my son about it. And I said, this is KJ Osborne. You know, I've been listening to him about 6 years, and then and he's like, yeah, okay, and so I ain't never seen the man's face. And then that following weekend, next weekend, all of a sudden I see KJ Osborne's video on YouTube with his hat. This is the biggest story.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm sorry you cut out for a second, Matt.
Oh, I did. Okay. I mean, it was just amazing to me, seeing that video of you right after I talked to you the Friday before on the call-in show.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to my son about it, that I'd never seen your face, listened to you about 6 years, and probably won't see his face till we get to heaven. But then the next weekend, there you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you got to see that, and yeah, I'm glad it didn't scare people. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I was going to ask you, what made you decide to make that video?
I've put my face on camera a couple times on Subscribestar.
I remember that.
Yeah. So then I was making a video for Subscribestar at first, really, but I really genuinely in my spirit, as I uploaded it to YouTube, and I was going to keep it unlisted, then I can play it over on Subscribestar for them. But then as I was doing that in my spirit, it just was like, go public, just do it. And I've said for years jokingly I would do it someday once we're at the end of the road and things like that. And we really are at the end of the road, so it just felt right. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I just clicked it. I didn't think anything of it, really. And I just let it go, and then I let it sit. And then about an hour and a half later, I went back and looked, and I was just like, whoa. I was like blown away. I really didn't realize it would get a lot of people coming in so quick. I don't give myself a lot of credit for things in this life. A lot of times I always attribute it to the Lord and gifts and things or whatever, or abilities through the Holy Spirit. But that's why, I don't put myself on a pedestal. I don't ever think I'm anything more than I am or whatever, to the point to where it's like a constant kind of a humility. And I'm not trying to give myself like, humble brag stuff, but I really do live like that. And I think like that. So it's hard for me to think, oh, this is going to be a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But then later I was like, oh, wow, cool, man. Like this guy followed me 15 years, this lady 20 or 12 years, whatever it is. And it was beautiful. I'm rambling, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine how that felt, to get that reaction and get that love back, with being in doubt, like you said before, maybe uploading it, then you did, and you get all that love back that you really didn't, you knew it was out there, but probably didn't really know it was out there, right?
Yeah, because, and also being human, sometimes we just focus on the negative stuff, the people who gripe and complain every week, and you got to block people, you know what I mean? But then luckily, y'all are so beautiful. Like even the PO box people, man, thank you so much. And then y'all supporting me on Subscribestar and every other way. And it's like that's all a blessing. And even that's overwhelming because I've always been a person it's hard for me to take things from someone or accept even kindness sometimes, or whatever. I'm just that way. It's like, I feel weird. Like, I shouldn't, but I got over that a long time ago. I still struggle sometimes with it, but that's what keeps me here. And it's the wonderful people that support and all that, But yeah, so it was nice seeing all the nice comments and stuff. And, even after losing the big channel, that was a big, it's like another thing is you constantly get humbled because I had my big channel. I used to get, I'd get a lot of great comments, a lot of love, a lot of people followed me for years. And when I lost that, now I put up a video and between the channels I'm on, since BitChute's comments are shut down, I might get, 7 comments on a video, maybe 12 on this one, maybe 15 here or there. So it's just, I don't feel the same. Like, I don't know how these are playing. Are y'all good with this? Do you like the video? I'll get some, but that's one thing that losing YouTube did, So again, going back to the video, seeing all the comments, it's like, oh, cool, man. There's the fam. There's people from YouTube. I'm rambling too much about myself, man. I'm sorry, Matt. Please go ahead.
That was the main reason I called was to ask about,
about that. Yeah.
You
yeah.
To come out like that on that YouTube video. I know you, like I said, you've been on Subscribestar, you said, but it just, it shocked me. And then after that, the drones come about.
Right here they are.
Yeah, and you said, Spirit told you, right? The Spirit told you to upload that video, right?
Yeah, that's, I feel like I like to think that that's because I pray about all my videos. I'll even say things like, let's make a great one this week, Lord, and, stuff like that, and so that's how I do with all of them. And I like to think the timing's right with these things. And, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's even with choosing music and stuff. Sometimes I feel like he's leading me, and then I'll find a track I wasn't sure of. I'll play it on what I've edited, and it just matches everything perfectly. And it's like, I'll just be like, wow, thank you. I mean, not to get too heavy into all this, but so it's a whole process to me, and I'm not trying to say God made all my videos, but the Holy Spirit's with us, man. Jesus is within all of us. So if you, are with that, then just give him the, like, hey, help me, Lord, please help me find the, what do you want me to talk about? What subjects? And then as the days go on, you're getting drawn to things, a TV show I'd never heard of, let's watch this movie today, whatever it is. And then it all kind of comes together, that's the way it's been for me.
Oh yeah. It's synchronicity and things coming together is always what I've viewed in my life too. That's kind of like a little check mark saying, yeah, he's right there.
Exactly.
Right there. And earlier, I think it was John 3:16 caller earlier.
Yeah.
Talking about Apple, the logo, and it had made me remember a story from like the early 2000s. I'll never forget. Just him mentioning that brought it back up because I'm a Gen X too. I'm 46, so this is like 2002, somewhere around that area. I was at a buddy of mine's house, about 6 of us there, and we're playing games and stuff. And I've always been like the conspiracy guy. Somehow we got on top of the chip, that was coming, Mark of the Beast, and then I got on. I forgot exactly how it went, but I got onto like the Apple and the Apple computer, and the Garden of Eden, and all that. And one of my best friends, not best friend, but a good friend I've been in school with all my life, played ball together. All of a sudden, he just turned. He started crying, and he started saying that he was like the prodigal son. And he got, wanted to fight me. You know what I'm saying? Actually,
Yeah.
Get physical with me. So, I kind of left, and then it's about a week later, I talked to him, and he said, "Sorry, man, I don't know what got into me that night. He apologized and everything, and that's and something right there just kind of told me something right there. I mean, what would make that reaction? We were just sitting there talking, you know what I'm saying, and we were just talking about that subject matters, and I don't know if you could call it a demon or a spirit just maybe came in him at that time.
Yeah, it made it manifest. Yeah, something angered it.
Have you ever had something like that occur? I mean, where you're with somebody?
Gosh, I mean, I've had some things, but with people, I mean, I don't know, man, not really to where it's obvious to me. The Holy Spirit would have warned you, like, okay, something crazy just happened. But I'm trying to think. Not that I manifested in front of me in somebody, no. No, but if it did, I'd like to think that maybe I would, try to get it out of them. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I don't know. I was just thinking about when he was talking about that, and let's see. One more thing I wanted to discuss was about the drones, and I don't know exactly what they are, but do you think a possibility that some of them might be holograms?
I mean, maybe because there's some that I show. I don't know if they're holograms or spotlights, but I call them the ghost lights. I show them on KJ's What Happened. We've been watching them for a couple of years. They're all over the world. That could be maybe a Project Bluebeam thing. Maybe the hologram thing will be used. I'm not sure. I mean, it's part of Project Bluebeam, so they could use it. They could use, who knows what kind of tricks they're going to pull. But that'll give, I think, the reason they'll use it is because they have to give the impression that these things are all over the world at the same time. So that might be like, again, once things pop off and they want to make their appearance, like boom, suddenly they show up all over the world. And, whether it be holograms being part of it, whatever it is, it's blue beam. I believe it's something from above shooting down, right. So, and then there'll be, of course, the real entities and things, and those will be the ones on TV and telling their stories and, really really hammering the nail in that this is real and this is happening and people are going to poop their pants. Some people are. But anyway, man, yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
But that's about all I had, KJ. I just want to, leave out this year and and tell everybody that 2025 will be a great year, and God will bless everybody in the community and you, of course, and that everything will go well.
Well, thanks, Lynn. It's a great message to leave on. Or Matt. Thanks, Matt. Lynn is the one I just lost. He showed back up, so you're coming up, Lynn. But Matt, thank you, man. It's a pleasure chatting with you. That's a great message to leave on, and much love to you, my brother. And we'll do it again next time.
All right.
All right. Take care. Thanks. All right, Lynn. I'm glad you made it back. I want to change the background up for you. We'll do these are cool. Do that one. Lynn, welcome to the show. Thanks for your patience. You're my last guest this evening. Thank you for being here.
Hopefully not last but not least. What's up, KJ? How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm doing really good. It's been a good night, been great guests, and can't complain at all.
Yeah, it's cool now, man. It's been a few weeks since I last talked to you.
That's
do you
right.
Do you remember me talking? So one of the things I wanted to mention was about remember I said I didn't have a Christmas tree for like 7 years, 7 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it caused a big rift in the family. Excuse me. So I'm like a little torn on this whole Christmas thing. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, but then I'm like, do I really want to wish that kind of spirit onto you? It's like, or should I say Happy Saturnalia?
It's like a.
I'm just so torn.
Excuse me. It's kind of like I mentioned at the beginning of the show too, that there's a lot of layers to that now. You know, to Happy Holidays, to Christmas, and support of Jesus, or is it support of paganism, and the whole thing? You know what I'm saying? So I try not to complicate it myself. You know, I still celebrate it with the family. I don't have anything like decorated over here for it now, but yeah, you know, just go with the flow.
We don't either.
Yeah.
So like I see the stuff like the I mean, well, we had this discussion before. We know Jesus wasn't born on the winter solstice, but yeah, like when I see the stuff of like Santa Claus and stuff, and like all the, you know, the reindeer and the all that silly stuff that doesn't have to do, it doesn't have to do with Christ. Like, you know, when people are like, I think my phone's shutting down again for the second time tonight. I can't believe this. Yeah, it looks like it's shutting down.
No way. Well, I can wait. You want to come back? Lynn? Darn, I think I lost him. All right, I'll wait and see if he makes it back. Maybe he'll plug it in. Let me jump over here to the comments section now. And Lynn, you're still on with me, but I'll wait, man. Let me say hi to everybody. ESP Productions, Tamara, thanks again, my friend. Julie, Dude WTH, Illumi, Not Me, Reloaded, good to see you. And T. Kerr, Todd Hitchcock, Nolan Hoiting, and Rage Against the Machine, good to see you. Joyful Noise, Short Bus, happy birthday. Good to see you. Sorry, I just lost Lynn, but I'll stay live here for now if Lynn can make it back and fix it. If not, Lynn, I hope I can get you on next time. I always say I'll try to remember, but I feel like I have so much stuff that goes into my head like every day and every week between the videos and the shows. So I kind of lose track of stuff. Asen, nice to see you. Diane Harmon, you too. Hope you're all doing good. Thanks again for being here, guys. We'll be looking at almost 4 hours. Hey, that ain't bad. I guess this is a good time to go ahead and stop. I want to go ahead and put the link to KJ's What Happened over here once again, just in case. If you're able to attend tomorrow, please do. We have a great show over there, great crowds. My website's back up and running. I don't know if some of y'all used to watch everything through the website. It was down for like 2.5 months, but it's been back up for a few weeks now. Good to see you, Just Me, Heidi, Scaleworks, RC, Scotsman, Michelle, and I saw you earlier, and Diane, Warrior 63. Happy birthday to you too. The Ass Pull, good to see you. Nolan, love you too, man. Hey, David. Todd Hitchcock. Nice to see you, man. Thanks again, JH. Allie Jane. LIV. Nice to see you. Reigns of Healing. Eclectic Trading House. Vintage. Hey, thank you. Glad to be here. Yeah, stay subbed here. I still do live shows on Fridays, most Fridays here. But the bulk of my work is over on Rumble and BitChute. Rumble's kind of the main one. And yeah, so check it out, okay? Please do. All right, you guys. I guess we will call that a night. Said so. I got KJ's What Happened Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard. Monday, I've got KJ's What Happened Uncensored on Rumble, 2 p.m. Central Standard. Good to see you, CJ Live. And then I got a brand new video coming up this week as well. And tomorrow the show is 2 p.m. Central Standard time in America, Central Standard. And I can't wait to get the new video out to y'all. Huge shout out to my Subscribe Star family and to the whales on Rumble. And of course, huge thank you to all of you who support the videos and shows in whichever way. Thanks again for the P.O. Box things. Y'all are awesome, amazing, super cool. Love it. I just sent a bunch of cards off today. So thanks again, you guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Thanks. Another thanks to Tamara. Always appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. You know that. Robin McAdams. Good to see you. Aaron Drake. Dr. Dave. All right, you guys. Hey, y'all have a good night. Thanks again. Lord bless you. Love you guys. Let me say a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, thanks so much for this, for the show, for the fact we could do the show. We have a platform for all these wonderful guests I had tonight that I got to talk to, and all of them were blessings. So thank you for all of them. And thank you for this wonderful crowd watching tonight and all those people who will watch later. And please bless them all. You know, we live in crazy times, as you know, Lord. So people need your strength, your endurance. You know, we need to feel you, your presence in our life. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for all your blessings. I love you, Father. We love you. And in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, you guys. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow over on Rumble, 2 p.m. Central Standard. And you guys have a great Friday night, okay? Thanks so much for spending it with me. Y'all are great. Take care.